They come in and they start the interview. So they start asking me questions to get to know me and stuff. And then one of the questions was, so you just came here 6 months ago from Venezuela. What do you miss the most from back home? I think about it for a second. And then I said this. I said like, well, I miss the beautiful beaches. And then they stay in silent. They look at each other. They stay in silent. It was like maybe a minute or two.
Like awkward.
The most awkward, uncomfortable 2 minutes of my life. I'm sweating. I don't know what's happening. My very first real interview in the United States, right?
For like a real job. Real job.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and then, I don't know. I start thinking, I was like, maybe they want me to elaborate more on that answer. And I said, well, yes, I used to live 20 minutes away from the ocean.
Yeah.
And I used to go surfing every weekend.
Yeah.
I miss that. They start laughing. They start laughing so hard. They couldn't stop laughing for like 5 minutes.
They're thinking.
They were crying.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what's happening.
Yeah. You're like, you just say, you sit there.
And then they seriously, it took like 5 minutes for them to finally get back. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the End-to-End Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Young Nguyen, affectionately called the Ninja. You can call me Ninja too. This is the End-to-End Podcast, the alpha to the omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, motivation, inspiration, success, entrepreneurship, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. Happy holidays. Today I have a very, very, very special episode coming to you. It's one of those guest episodes, but this gentleman... man, there's nothing I could say that could encapsulate what this guy imbibes, imbues, and the success that he's had and his amazing story and the trajectory of his life. But before I introduce him, I just want to remind you that there was this one episode where I talked about who you surround yourself with is who you become, right? You pick up the mannerisms and so forth. I also talked about every time you level up in your success, you're going to surround yourself with more successful people. And this is an instance where you all know that once you get to the level where you are buying like big houses or supercars or, business, you're very successful in business, all of a sudden you're attracted to other people that are the same way. They got big houses. They got supercars. They got successful businesses, and that's how you level up. And so this guy, the guest on this episode, I met very recently because why? We're in the same supercar group. In fact, we drive the same model supercar, except his is a little bit faster than mine because it's tuned up. But it's my honor, my pleasure. I'm not even going to pronounce his name because I just know him as Polo G. But my guy, Polo, he's here from Venezuela, immigrated from Venezuela a long time ago. We're going to get into his story, but super successful businessman, very entrepreneurial, great man, great family man, great father. And it is an honor to have you on my podcast, brother. Good to meet you. Thank you.
Polo, what is now, formally, say your full name.
My full name is Hipólito Ramón García Villaparedes.
Yeah, so now you know why I call him Polo, and everybody else calls him Polo, man.
Yes, for the first few years I was here in the state, I tried everybody to learn my full name, and I realized that it was too difficult, so I decided just to go with my nickname Polo, and now that's it. That's my name.
His Polo, man. Welcome to the show. Your story, when we met, it's only been like a couple months actually. Yeah. And, when he told me his story, I was like, hey, my guy, you got to come on my podcast because that's what we're about. Motivation, inspiration, and just inspiring people to let them know that regardless of where you start, you can be ultra successful. But we'll get into that. So as I mentioned, Polo is a immigrant from Venezuela. So why don't we just get into it and talk about sort of your life in Venezuela and how it came to be that you came to America?
Yeah, perfect. Of course. Thank you very much for having me here. It was a pleasure to meet you when we start talking, and definitely I felt that the connection about we wanting the same things, and it's funny because we're not talking about money. Everybody wants money, but when we're talking about family, values, the hard work, all that kind of things, that's what you want to bring close to you. And there's always something you can learn from other people that has been successful and that are also trying to become even better than whatever position they are. So yes, that's one of the reasons why I left Venezuela. When I was 17 years old, the new president of Venezuela became Chavez. There was a big political change at that time, and then I wasn't sure Chavez was the right president for the country, and I didn't agree with many of the things that he believed and that he preached. So I decided to leave the country. It took me about a year to get everything ready to move to the United States. And I came to the United States just with a visa, with my passport, $250, and one piece of luggage. And I did not know anybody. I did not speak any English. I just knew that I wanted to be better for myself, for my family, and I knew United States would offer that opportunity.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy good. So let me unwrap that just a little bit in your life story, but then something you said at the very beginning about common values, success, approach, people that want to share that. So again, there are several episodes back, I can't recall, but we talked about sharing of values and growth. And what really resonates is that a lot of people think success is only about the money. And it is. Money is a very valuable tool to help bring about success. But if you're on your pathway up and all you talk about is money, that is the main reason that actually pushes people away. People want to do business with people they enjoy or share values or can see that they are there's commonality. But if it's just give me the money, I want money, give me the money, it really repels people away from you, because then they think you're only about the money, which means if there's a situation where you could screw me over for money,
you will take
you're gonna take advantage of it. You're gonna pick money over me. Definitely. So if you're on your way up, this is to my audience, as you're on your way up, just be a good person and help and add value to other people, and the money will come. 100%. Don't make relationships just about the money, because that is not the way to be, to grow your network and grow to be successful, which is a very good point you brought up. So, but let's go back real quick. So Chavez, the regime of Chavez, and I don't want to get into a political conversation, but the regime of Chavez was disagreeable to you because it was more kind of a communistic, less entrepreneurial environment? Or
100%, exactly. And one of the things that he preached at that time was that he needed to take money from those who had it and give it to those who don't have it. And I'm a strong believer that nothing given for free is worth it. You're not helping people if you're giving them things for free. Yeah. What I hope is for an opportunity for me to be able to earn everything I'm looking for. Yeah. So I didn't agree with that, and I knew that wasn't going to be good for the country. Yeah. And also many other things, when you're encouraging people to become better, to do more, that's a good thing. But when you are, talking bad, saying bad things about those who had it just because they have money, that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, no, it doesn't encourage progress.
Exactly. But it was easy for him to gain popularity, and that's how he became, the president. Yeah. And that's how he did it. And everything turned around. They were the one who became the rich after that. Yeah. But I left the country about 22 years ago. I was 18 years old, and I decided to go to Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah. Is that point right in the middle of the map of United States? If you point that middle United States, that's Nebraska. And I decided to go to Omaha because I knew that the college was affordable. Okay. Unemployment was very low. Okay. The cost of living was very low. So I was going to be able to find a job to support myself and also send money back to my home, to my family, my mom, back home in Venezuela. So I decided to go there also because it was far away from the coast. That not enough people speak Spanish, so I was going to be forced to learn English. And I wanted to learn English as fast as possible because knowing Spanish is good, but knowing multiple languages would always help you. Yeah. And if you're in the United States, or for that matter, anywhere in the world, English is very important. Okay. And then I wanted to learn good English as fast as possible, so I went to Omaha. I would love California, Texas, or Florida at that time because it was nicer and better, but too much Spanish, so I forced myself to learn English, and I think it helped.
Okay, hold on a sec. So I don't want you to short sell yourself, because what is remarkable, and we share a similar story in a way that we're both refugee immigrants or immigrants to the United States, but it was just you. I want to make sure the audience understands. It's just you, 18 years old, $250 in your pocket, and a suitcase. Just you.
Yes.
Whereas nowadays, 18-year-olds can't even get out of their bedroom. They're playing video games all day long, right?
Yes.
So, like, that is a huge, bold step, a bold move for somebody 18. And not only that is, it sounds like you did your research. Like there was the reasons you picked Omaha, Nebraska, other than it's like the very central or a very central point on the map. But like you research a lot.
Yes.
And what is remarkable is that a lot of 18-year-olds,
even more so, would not have the thought process
of, man, I need to make myself very uncomfortable in order to learn the skills that I need to learn in order to be successful, right? You put yourself in a place where not a lot of Hispanics, so you forced yourself to learn English.
Yes.
Right? So were you always that kind of methodical thinker, or is that something you had, or is this something you learned, or like where did that come from?
I believe we all have skills, and we all have blessed things that we were born with. A lot of people think that I'm a natural born salesperson because I can sell anything and things like that. But sales are skills that you can learn. What I feel blessed with is the vision. I am able to see things that other people don't see as easily, and I am able to see further than just with meet the eye. And then that has helped me. So there are some kind of people that things happen to them and then they learn. Some people that things happen to them and they don't learn and they keep doing the same mistakes. And there are some that are blessed to be able to learn things before they even happen to them. That kind of vision, I think I've been blessed with a little bit, and I've been able to not just look for the easy. I realized very early that the most difficult path most of the time will take you to the better results.
Yeah.
So when you are driving down the easy road, you're going to have a lot of competition. When you take the most difficult road, there will be very few people that can do it. And then there is a lot more chances for me to win.
Right? So okay, this is very, how should I say, enlightened, because not a lot of people would understand that philosophy, right?
Yes.
Were you taught this, or is this something you figured out? Right?
Yeah. I learned it. I realized, looking back, every decision I have made has gone towards the difficult decision, not the easy one.
See, that's the thing, man. Everybody these days just wants the easy route, the instant millionaire, the e-commerce, whatever. I'm gonna get you rich in 60 days or less.
Definitely. The major two problems that I notice in American society are immediate gratification.
Yes, instant gratification.
Yeah. And entitlement.
Yes.
I believe a lot of the younger people are growing up with false expectations of overnight success, of things like this, because of many things, because of internet, because of social media, because of crypto, because of different things.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault.
Yeah.
They just don't know enough.
Yeah.
And then immediate gratification is a really bad problem in American society, because people put more effort on results than on the process. And one of the things that I said to somebody one time, long time ago, and I said, this person was very concerned about losing all his money. And then this person has made millions. He's a very good friend of mine. He's probably gonna listen to this. He knows who I'm talking.
I hope he listens to it.
Yes, he made more than $3 million last year.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting talking with him one-on-one, and then he tells me that one of his problems, one of the things that don't let him sleep at night, is losing all his wealth, all his money.
Yeah.
And I said it shouldn't scare you. Because how long it took you to build your wealth. And then he said something around 14 years. And then I said, with all the skills that you have learned and with all the people that you know and with everything that you know today, how long would it take you to start all over from zero? He said, well, probably 6 years. I said, what's it?
Fear. Why are you scared?
Exactly.
Why are you scared?
So I hope I was able to help him. I don't know. Please tell me in the comments if I help you. But,
So you bring an important point, and to bring this full circle is the rough, difficult, longer path teaches you the skills that builds resiliency that can allow you to have success at any time, even if you lose it all, or even if you allows you build more.
Yeah, your knowledge, nobody can take it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mentioned that. So my father taught me that when we immigrated from Vietnam, it's like once you learn something,
yes,
no one can take it away.
Yes.
So learn as much as you can. But then he also said, the faster you make your money, the easier it is to lose.
100% agree.
The longer it takes you to make the money, the longer the money stays with you.
Yes.
Because you learned the skills. Fast money, you might get it, and it could happen. Believe me.
Yes.
But you have not learned the skills, the knowledge, the lessons in order to keep it or maintain it or to build on top of it.
Correct.
Right? So, and we'll get into that. I mean, and just to jump the story, Polo is, he drives a $300,000 car. He has multiple cars. I've seen him wear $100,000 watches. So this guy's legit, y'all, just to let you know. But we jumped the gun. But everything he preaches is true for the pathway of success. But I don't want to go too far ahead. So you end up in Omaha, Nebraska. Don't speak the language. You enroll in a local college. Like, sort of, what happens? Like, how did you get into this fast track of getting into success?
One thing that I learned early on, like you just mentioned, success is not all about the money. When I came with $250, my main priority, day one, was to get a job because I needed to support myself. I didn't have where to sleep. So I found a place, and then I paid the money up front to stay there the first month. But after 30 days, I needed to make enough money to continue paying. Correct. So since the day one, I dropped the luggage at the place. I went and I started walking business to business looking for a job. I started knocking doors at restaurants and in small grocery stores. I went to the Hispanic mall area there is in Omaha, and I started telling people, I just got here, I need a job, I don't speak English, what do you need? I'll clean your car, I'll clean the back office, I'll carry boxes, whatever you need me to. So I started knocking at doors, and then nobody was hiring me at that time, and then somebody walked out of one of the stores, and he said, hey, I mentioned you're looking for a job. Say yes, please. And then he said, like, maybe where I work, they're hiring people, so you want to come over? And I said, perfect, yeah, let's do it. This was it was 2001. And then driving there, he tells me how much he makes. And then he tells me, you will start getting paid about $15 per hour. At that time, coming from
from nowhere, no skills,
country,
no skills, teenager.
When I ran the numbers, I said, like, man, I'm gonna be rich. Like $15 an hour, I can work 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then I can put 120 hours a week. Yeah. And then running the numbers, and I'm going crazy, right? And I thought about it, and I said, but what do you do? And then he said, I work at the meat plant. I said, like, yeah, meat plant, like Tyson food, you know?
Yeah.
I said, like, and what do you do there? He said, well, I'm the one who kills the cows. So like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Like so what would be my job? Oh, you'll be killing cows there with me. I said, like, oh man, I'm sorry. I can't do that. Like I know it's a lot of money, and I can't. How do you sleep at night? I said, I mean, seriously, from that moment, every time I see the trucks driving with the pigs or the cows or anything, I look at their eyes, and I think they know, and they're crying. Like, I don't know if they can, like, physically cry, but I think they are. So I told him, like, no, man, I can't do that. I mean, I know that's something needed. You know, we need that for the industry, for the food, and for everything, but I can't be the person doing that. So anything else, I'll clean, I'll do anything. And then he laughed and stuff. He said, okay, that's fine. We'll find you something else, but they don't pay as much. So I said, like, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So I got my first job. He found me a job working at the store, you know, just putting the boxes together, the freezer, all that stuff, $6 an hour.
Okay.
So I started at $6 an hour, and that was fine. And then everything I was thinking was about money. How can I make more money?
Yeah.
So I asked the guys, like, how can I make more money? They said, well, if you work more than 40 hours, you get paid overtime. So that's time and a half.
Yeah,
so
$9.
Like, perfect. $9 an hour. So like, man, how many overtime hours can you give me a day?
Yeah.
And then they said, like, no, we're not doing overtime. I said, like, well, so I'm going to have to find another job. So I found another job, and then I was working, and at the same time that I was going to school. So I was going to school 3 times a week, 9 to 11 a.m., 9 to 12, and then I was working.
College or still
I was
high school?
learning English at the time.
Okay.
So I graduated from high school in Venezuela. I started going to college, and then I left because I used the money that I could have paid for the next semester to buy the air tickets to come here, and then it was either study one more semester or fly to United States, and my decision was to come here.
So let me backtrack a little bit. So, I mean, $6 an hour. You're a teenager again, 18, 19 years old. It takes a lot of humility to just, I'll do whatever. Just pay me.
Yes.
I'll sweep floors, wash dishes. You know, it's not. You have to put away your pride a little bit, knowing you're more talented, knowing you have all this. You know who you are, so to speak, and what value you can bring. But you say, I'm willing to do anything.
Yes.
I'll just pack boxes. I'll do whatever, $6 an hour.
Because I knew my purpose.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do that forever. That was just for me to pay rent while I learn English, while I learn skills to go to the next job. And then, so for example, not to get politically or anything, but there are some parties that trying to help people by telling them, like, oh, we're going to raise base salary. We're going to raise, everybody's going to make more money. And like I said, you need to earn more money.
Yeah.
You need to earn that bigger salary. The low income jobs are necessary. And even the internship. I know a lot of people that work for free.
Just to get experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those jobs are needed. Now, the problem is when you stay in that job for 10, 20 years.
You stop.
Yes.
You don't progress.
You stay there. And then that's the problem. So I knew I was going to get paid $6 an hour, but I wasn't going to stay there forever.
Yeah.
Actually, I started asking, how can I make more than $6 an hour? So I found another job in a kitchen, just cooking in a kitchen, and they offered me, I believe that one was $6.75, $6.75, something like that. And then I took it. So I had my 2 full-time jobs while I was going to school full-time.
Okay.
And I was able to run the schedule. Some of them were at night and stuff. And then I was able to find a route delivering newspaper at night. So I grab about 250 to 500 newspapers every night, and I will deliver it. I was the one throwing the newspaper in your front door.
Yeah.
One that you don't
so
want,
you're riding along with somebody, or
no? I was by myself in my car. I did purchase a small Honda Accord that was older than me. The car was about 22 years old.
Okay.
And I was 19. Had no air conditioning and no heater.
Yeah.
I did not know how important the heater is in the winter in Nebraska until I bought that car for $400. But it did the purpose. It helped me go from job to job and then deliver newspaper. And a few months later, I was able to buy something a little nicer with actual
heater in Nebraska, and it gets cold.
Yes,
man, this story is so fascinating because a lot of people they can't envision that bigger future, right? And even at the time, you did or did not know what that future was, but you knew it was there's a better future.
Definitely.
Right? You felt it. Was it faith? Was it belief? Or you actually visualize, I'm going to be in a mansion, I'm going to drive this nice car? Or what was that motivating, right? It's the idea that, hey, I can do more, I can get more. It sounds like it's a natural thing for you, but was it natural, or is this something
To me, when I started, it wasn't about the rich and the fame.
Yeah.
It was about family. And then the one moment.
Wait, what do you mean family? Like you didn't have a family yet? Yeah,
no? Let me tell you.
Okay.
One day I'm driving back home out of a bar, probably 2-3 a.m. with a few scotch on me. And by the way, we don't have legal age, so it was legal to drink. I was under 21, but I'm driving with a few drinks on me.
In Venezuela or in?
Yes, in Venezuela, back home. I was like 18
Okay.
years old. With a few friends, they're driving their cars. One of my friends is driving completely intoxicated.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how he could barely stay in the lanes, and then he was driving. And at that time, it was so fun because everybody was drinking and driving, and it's normal. It's fine back home.
Yeah.
And I saw all the cars of other people. And then I saw one car that has what it looks to be like a guy coming out of a job, with a tie and stuff. It was very late, 2-3 a.m. And then he looked like he was going home to sleep, So he wasn't partying like us. And then I thought to myself, how dangerous this is. We're all partying, we're all having fun, we're all drinking, and this person might not make it home to his family because of some dumb stupid like me.
Yeah.
And then I stopped drinking. And then I still party. I go out and hang out.
Casual,
and we have hang out. And I tell you, I don't drink.
Yeah.
I can grab a drink just because everybody is, but I don't have to drink to get drunk.
Yeah.
And then to have fun. So I realized, I said, when I become a father, I don't want this surrounding my car. Yeah. Imagine if I'm driving home with my kid in the back and there's some people doing stuff like this.
Crazy stuff.
So I wanted to go to a place where that wasn't legal, where the police, where the society, the people help you not to do those kind of things. So I felt it was going to be the better for my future family, even though I wasn't even thinking about getting married. I didn't even have a girlfriend at the time. I was just having fun. But I knew eventually I wanted to have a family, and I didn't want that close to my family. So I decided United States has better laws, and the society, especially in certain areas, there's some areas that are a little bit more dangerous, more different, let's say. But as a whole, United States has very good laws, and most people obey them. And then, you're a lawyer, accidents, so things happen and people do things that they
crazy,
shouldn't.
stupid things.
But it's a less percentage here than on other places.
I completely agree with that. But that internal motivational drive, let me just get whatever I can, $6 to survive. Bump it up $6.75. Now I'm working 2 jobs. Bump it up. Delivery route, I'm working 3 jobs. You the motivation came from where? Like you get past the survival point. Like, a lot of people I'm gonna work just enough to get by. The motivation to get to that next level, I don't getting by is not enough for me. Was it
I had a goal. I had a goal. My goal was to learn English and graduate from college so I can make more money. And then I will do whatever it takes to get my goals.
Yeah.
And then at that time, my goal was to make more money because I was thinking about money.
Yeah.
Because I needed money to pay rent. I needed to send $100 back to my
mom.
family so my mom could eat.
Yeah.
So I was doing everything for the dollar. Then, not too long after that, I realized a few things, and that helped me, and that's when I started becoming truly successful. When you realize that success is not just about money, and it's funny because people talk about how not important money is to be happy. Most people that say that, they have the money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for you to say that when you're grinding, when you're hustling, when you don't have the money, you don't have enough to pay your basic bills.
Yeah.
But then I understood that I needed to pay for my own college, so I needed to make money to pay for that. So I was working for that, not to make money. I was working to pay for college.
So it's a purpose associated with money, but it wasn't about money.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes. And so pay for college, learn English to get a better job, to get you out of the situation you were. And you were willing to do anything.
Yeah.
And I find that is a rate limiting step for a lot of people, because some people will be too prideful. Hey man, I'm too good for that job. I'm not going to do that. But they'd rather be less than as if they just took this, lower end job, which are, as you say, are essential to the economy. So nothing against that. But everybody has to start somewhere, right?
Definitely.
So your purpose was, it sounds like love for family. You got to pay for your mom.
Yeah.
Survival, you got your bills to do. But then the third component was you envisioned a bigger future for yourself.
100%.
Okay.
I didn't even know what that future was.
But you had
At
faith.
that time, I did not even know what I wanted to do. But I knew I didn't come to this life just to be average.
Okay.
I had that drive in me that will help me go further and not just gonna satisfy with being okay.
Okay.
I think there's a lot more out there than just work, pay the bills, sleep, and repeat.
Okay. Where did that come from? Were you taught that, or is that just something? That's because a lot of entrepreneurs or business starters struggle with that, because they this is what life is. They don't have that ambition.
Yeah.
That
There's
for me, like for example, I grew up. We came in from Vietnam. My parents had no money, but they started their own business. So I saw what working for yourself could become.
Yeah.
They multiple $1 million business. Then, when I was growing up, I had posters on my wall. Lambo, Ferrari,
McLaren is
McLaren it didn't exist at that time. No, Lambo, Ferrari, models, heavy metal bands at the time. So you're dreaming, right? Mm-hmm. That was kind of the ambition, the motivation for me. Did you have these dreams of like, I want these things, or just?
Not at all.
No.
And from my family, completely opposite. I believe I'm the first business owner in my family. I became a business owner way before it was a thing.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship.
And we'll get into that.
But my mom was professional. My mom graduated from social work, and she worked her whole life helping families with social issues. So she's a very loving person.
Yeah, giving.
Yes, 100%. She never cared about money. She always wanted to help.
Yeah.
But then I didn't grow up with my dad, but my dad was around. So I'm very blessed to say that he wasn't in my household. I didn't grow up with him, but he never bothered us. He didn't
abandon you, but he was there. Okay.
He was there, distant, but never caused any damage. So, but he was very smart person, one of the smartest person I have met in my life. I realized it many years later. He was an engineer, and then one of the reasons why I call him so smart is because he was lazy. I'm not gonna lie, but he was smart.
Yeah.
He found a way to make money without working. So
okay, then.
He lived his whole life without really working.
Yeah.
But he went to school, he graduated, he did things, and then he went to school, he graduated engineer. My mom also a professional. So at that time, all they thought was go to school so you can get a good job.
And that's life.
That's life. And then I learned that there's more ways to make money. And then from very early age, actually, my mom just reminded me not too long ago about my first, let's say, hustle. When I was very little, I would say 5 or 6 years old, my mom would go to the farmer's market, and I would go with her. Harry help carry the bags, and then she would buy me something. So she said, what you want? So at that time, I bought a 12-pack of some kind of popsicles.
Okay.
Some kind of like homemade popsicles,
Okay.
little plastic bag with like Kool-Aid inside, stuff like that. So I took it home, I froze it, and then I would bring it down to the court, to the where we play, in El Barrio where I grew up. And then all the kids would come like, oh, give me a little bit. And then I was like tired, because everybody was trying to eat my stuff. So I said, like, buy your own stuff. He's like, but where did you buy it? I said, like, well, I bought it at the market. And then he's like, how much is it? I don't know. So I went back to my mom and I said, how much is it? My mom paid like, let's say just to put a number, $1.
$1
She
each.
paid $1 for the whole 12-pack.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I come back down and then I tell the kids they're 25 cents each.
So
and then a lot of
making
people start pulling off 25 cents and gave it to me. So like, wow, that's good. So I went back home and then I gave my mom like $2 and I said, I need you to buy me 24 now. And then my mom's like, I'm not going to the market until the weekend. I said, like, no.
Not
I
right
need it
now.
now. Like, I need it now. I cannot go. I need it now. The guys are playing basketball. They have money. I need to bring more. So my mom went and bought me. So at one point, I had all the freezer filled up and I had all the stuff. And I actually learned how to do it myself. So I wouldn't even have to make it. So I bought the bags. I bought the Kool-Aids and the stuff. And then I started making them. So my whole idea at that time was like, first, people didn't take my stuff because it was mine. I didn't want to give it away for free.
Of course.
And second, I was paying for my own treats. So now I don't have to ask my mom to buy me my stuff. Yeah. So, and then that's just one of the very first.
It's just a compounding effect. But okay, so that's kind of.
I guess I always had it on me.
Yeah, well, that's you're a hustler, right? Yeah. It's kind of like me, but it's kind of like the modern day lemonade stand
100%.
In America.
Yes.
But which is such an important lesson for the youth to understand. There's so many lessons in that, man. It's like value, finding a need, filling a need, getting a value exchange to fill that need, supply chain.
Yep.
Buying low, selling high, all these things that you're learning at 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
And understanding that early on, I think now we're drilling into the details. I don't be psychologist on you or whatever, but like sort of you saw that early.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe in your subconscious mind I
did not know I had it, but I had it.
You had it. Right? When you're making that $6 per hour, but in the back of your head, you're like, man, I know I can hustle and be successful in America. And maybe that's what caused you to leave Venezuela. Because again, in the back of your mind, you're like, I can't hustle like this if we're in a communist country.
I was limited.
And you're limited. I need to find an environment where I can hustle and be successful as you are. Yeah. That's crazy good, man. So you're doing these 3 jobs. You switched over from a $400 Honda to your next upgrade. When did it really take off for you? Like you're like, damn, okay, now here we go.
One day I'm working with somebody who became a really good friend of mine. At one point, I met a couple guys. One happened to be Venezuelan, one Colombian, and then
in Omaha.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I was paying a few $100 for an apartment, and they told me like, you can move with us. And then we rented an apartment, three bedrooms, and we had a sofa. You can sleep there. You don't need a full bedroom. Yeah. Just give us $100 a month, and you save the money. So like, perfect. That was wonderful. So I became good friend with them. They had me on their sofa for a little while, and then I realized that I wanted to do better. So I was working. One of the guys found me a job, part-time job, helping in back office of a lawyer, actually.
Okay.
Back in Omaha, and then I was doing the filing, answering the customers in Spanish, things like that. And then we were working there, and then the guy used to pay us with a check from a bank, local bank, commercial federal bank, and then my friend and I would go and cash the check. And then the reason why we decided to find another job was because the lawyer was doing things that were, let's say, less than ethical. You know that gray area between legal and ethical?
Yes.
He was pushing
too far in that zone. Yeah, way too far.
So we both knew, even though we were making good money with him, that it wasn't going to be a long-term thing.
Okay. So you knew, or was it just an instinct?
No, it was just obvious. It was
obvious. It's like,
I knew what was going to happen.
This ain't going right.
This guy was doing millions of dollars that year and the years after, and then he even went to jail. He lost the license, and then last time I heard from somebody, they told me, he was living in one of those places for Section 8 help and stuff.
Because he lost everything. It all.
Yeah. And then
trying to make fast money.
Yes.
Right.
He learned a way to make fast money, pushing the boundaries, and then he exploded to the maximum. Yeah. And I knew that wasn't the right way.
Yes.
And then
good for you, man. Good that you got out of that.
So my friend and I, we went to the bank to cash the check, and he says we're looking for bilingual tellers. I said, like, dude, we should apply here. And I remember the day he looked at me and he said, dude, you don't even speak English. You have been in this country for 6 months. They're not gonna hire you. I said, like, you don't tell me no. I tell the lady, like, hey, I want an application. And then she's like, what? I was like, application, job, I want application. And then I didn't even know how to say I want to apply.
Yeah.
And then she pointed out the thing, and then she's like, do you want to apply for that job? I said like, yeah. I said, oh, perfect. Yeah, we need bilingual. We need people to speak Spanish. And she gave me the application, and I started filling out. Then my friend said like, you know what, screw it. Give me 1, 2. So he applied as well.
Okay.
So we went to the interview.
Yeah.
Super funny interview. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah.
But so we applied there, and then we start working. Well, anyway, let's start. So they call us both to do interviews. So I go to the interview, and then I went to a friend of ours, still a very good friend of mine. He will listen to this for sure. And then I said, like, man, I need to borrow a tie. I didn't even have a tie. So I think I borrowed the whole suit, a business suit and a tie. And then I didn't even know how to tie it. He helped me tie it up. And then I went to the interview, and I start the interview with the branch manager and the district manager back there in Omaha, Nebraska. And then they bring a Mexican lady that work at the branch. And then they say like, hey, Maria. Yeah, actually, her name was Maria. Hey, Maria, can you sit and talk to him? We want to make sure he speaks Spanish.
You say what?
And then I sit with Maria, and we're talking in Spanish. Say like, Maria, what do they mean? They want to not speak Spanish. They don't know that I don't speak English. She's like, I know. I don't know what they need me here. Like, I know you don't speak English. You only speak Spanish. And then I said like, I don't know, but they told me to talk.
So they're thinking you're an English guy.
I don't know. They
American.
Like, they want to know. They don't know what I speak. They don't know anything. Just want to make sure I speak
Spanish.
Mexican. You know.
Yeah.
And then so I said like, okay, and she's like, yeah, he speaks Spanish. So they come in and they start the interview. So they start asking me questions to get to know me and stuff. And then one of the questions was, so you just came here 6 months ago from Venezuela. What do you miss the most from back home? I think about it for a second. And then I said this. I said like, well, I miss the beautiful beaches. And then they stay in silent. They look at each other. They stay in silent. It was like maybe a minute or two.
Like awkward.
The most awkward, uncomfortable 2 minutes of my life. I'm sweating. I don't know what's happening. My very first real interview in the United States, right?
For like a real job. Real job.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and then, I don't know. I started thinking, I was like, maybe they want me to elaborate on that answer. And I said, well, yes, I used to live 20 minutes away from the ocean.
Yeah.
And I used to go surfing every weekend.
Yeah.
I miss that. They start laughing. They start laughing so hard. They couldn't stop laughing for like 5 minutes.
They're thinking.
They were crying.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what's happening.
Yeah. You're like, you just sit there.
And then they seriously, it took like 5 minutes for them to finally get back. And then they're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. So sorry. So you said beautiful beaches.
Beautiful beaches. They're thinking beautiful beaches.
And then, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. The ocean. I said like, I miss the ocean. What are you talking about? Like, I don't even speak English at the time, man.
Yeah. So you don't even know what bitch is.
You don't even know what bitch. Yeah. And then we finish the interview. They keep laughing. And then the guy at the end is like, hey, beautiful beaches, thank you very much. I don't know what he meant. Until this day, 22 years later, they still know me back there as beautiful beaches.
But did you get the job?
I did get the job.
See.
And then even after I started working, I asked Maria, what were they laughing? And then she was a very Christian, Mexican, old school lady. And then she told me, she's like, I cannot repeat the word, but you said about word. I said like, I didn't say about word. I said bitches, the ocean. Bitches. And then she's like, no, don't say that. So I still have trouble saying that word. I still don't like to say it, but now I use more context when I'm talking about that.
So similar. It's a great story, man. I love that story. Just out of context, my mom one day, I said, hey mom, this is when I was young. I said, Mom, what would you like for Christmas? She said, I want a movie, a Disney movie. I said, yeah, which one? And she says, Beauty and the Bitch. So it's Beauty and the Beast, right? So she's still, so I get it, man. I get it.
Yes.
But
to me, it sounded the same.
Same, exact, right. Well, yours is closer, beach versus beast. So you had the resiliency to not accept what would be other people trying to hold you back.
Yes.
Right? Did he get the job?
He actually did get
He also got
the
the
job
job too, so
yeah,
he
he did
owes
speak
you.
English.
He
If I got
owes
the
you,
job,
yeah.
so they couldn't let us work at the same branch because we were friends.
yeah.
So he went to another branch.
Okay, but he listened to you.
Yes.
Versus he would not have applied had you not applied.
Maybe.
Right.
I don't
So
remember the situation. It was so many years ago,
but you get that a lot on the way up. You're going to get a lot of people saying you can't do that.
Yes.
No, you shouldn't do that. There's no way you're going to make it. Why would you even think about it? Was that resiliency to believe in yourself always with that confidence? Like, I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to do it.
You know, confidence. That's a very strong word, and it's very important. And most people underestimate the importance of confidence. And looking back, now that you're making me think about how I grew up and stuff, I remember I wasn't able to play team sports because my mom couldn't afford to take me to games and buy uniforms and things like that. But at one point, I was able to start taking martial arts. And then I was about 8 years old. If I remember correctly, and I started taking some kind of taekwondo with kickboxing combination back home in Caracas. And then I started practicing with guys that have been doing this for years. And I became good friends of some of the top guys. And then I will always, spar with them. I always want to
spar,
to try,
practice fighting with them.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So at one point, one of my best friend was like 3 more belts ahead of me, and he was taller, he was stronger. He was my same age, but he was just taller, stronger, and then he was good in karate and kickboxing at the time. And then I always spar with him, right? I always wanted to fight with him. He was my friend, and I would learn from him, right?
But you're competitive. You're trying to beat each other up when you're sparring. I know.
He will beat me every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Actually one time I was thinking about that not too long ago, and I remember he hit me so hard on the chest that I don't know what happened. I opened my eyes and there's like 5 people on top of me. Yeah. And all I can think is like, oh, I still have 2 more points. Like he hasn't win.
He hasn't won.
He hasn't win.
Yeah, it's competitive,
so,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
That's how we go. The sensei told me like, no, you cannot get up. Like you gotta stay there and you're gonna go
recover.
Home. And then I said like, no, it's only 1. It's 3
I got
points.
time. I got time. I can do it. Come back.
So what I learned from that was that I lose the fear, because I would walk on the street and I was the smallest, the skinniest, lighter skin, long hair, surfing kind of kid. Everybody, will try to bully me.
They're gonna press you.
Yes.
See what this guy's about.
And then growing up in a low income neighborhood, there was a lot of people trying to take advantage of you. Take your stuff, don't let you play and do things, And then I was not afraid of anybody, no matter how big they were.
Yeah.
Because I was getting beat up every night for somebody bigger and stronger anyway.
Yeah.
So I lose that fear. When I lose that physical fear of getting beat up, that confidence transcends to many other aspects of my life.
To just life.
Yes. So I was walking with confidence.
Yes.
Even through the dark shadows.
Just as the mental. Yeah, that's a fantastic story. Because I share a similar story. In one of my podcast episodes, I impressed the importance of martial arts. Because similar to you, I youngest of 4 boys, all of us took Taekwondo. Nice. So I actually earned my black belt when I was, 11, 12 years old.
Nice.
But I keep telling people that once you get kicked or punched in the face and you realize I can come back.
Yeah.
It kind of sets your baseline of, well, shit.
You lose the fear.
You instantly lose the fear, not just the physical, but the psychological. I just got punched in the face, but I'm here still.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I can swing back. Like you had that, it brings out that fight.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I'm knocked out, but I still have 2 points I can hit, right? So it is critical to all of y'all with young children, I think, personally. Martial arts is such a valuable tool. Discipline, instruction, one-on-one. Like there's nobody to help you in a sparring. It's just you. Yep. And you're either gonna punch somebody, you're gonna be punched.
That's it.
And so it's like a mental fighting position, but at the same time you build your baseline of resiliency, and you realize that regardless of how tough life can be, I can fight back. So
but it's funny because it also makes you humble.
Yes.
Because at the same time, even though
Very valuable.
you're not afraid of getting punched, you know that no matter how good or strong you are, there will be somebody who's
that can still
stronger and
kick your
better.
ass. Yeah. Still
Yeah. So you stay humble because you know you have to become better no matter how good you are.
Yes.
So there's no such thing as perfection because things can always get better.
That's true.
So there's only one person that is perfect, right? God.
Yeah.
And everything else can always be better. So one of the things that I teach with a small group of agents that I try to help mentor or whatever, coach, I tell them, like, no matter how good you become at your profession, you gotta keep learning.
Yeah.
When you become the champion, you don't stop practicing.
You actually go backwards if you stop, right?
You gotta keep
going,
practicing and keep getting better.
Yes.
And that is something that I had noticed a lot of people, they get complacent, they get comfortable, and they stay there. And there's no such thing as staying still because everything around you keep moving.
Yes.
So if you're not going up, you're actually going down.
Yep.
Because everything keep going up.
That's crazy.
So it is important to understand that you always have to keep getting better.
Yeah.
And no matter how good you are, you could get better. And there's always going to be somebody who is bigger and stronger than you.
Even if you got the title, that's what they're coming for.
Yes.
Right?
Now you're a target.
Now you're a target.
Now you have to practice even harder.
Yeah. Which we'll get to. So you're a bank teller, you know.
So I get the job.
Yeah.
And funny thing, I go through the 30 days
training, whatever.
Training, and it was super difficult. I will walk out of that training at night crying, talking to my friend. I said, like, did you understand anything? And he's like, yeah, it was very simple today.
Well, he speaks better English, right?
Yeah. I said, I had no idea what they said. Like, I don't know what today was about. Like, that word that we're using, what was the whole thing today about? I don't understand. From the beginning, I don't understand. I remember that question. We were talking about withdraw. I had no idea what the word withdraw means.
In the banking industry, you don't know. Yeah.
And then he says, that's when you take the money out. So like, oh my God, that's what it means?
Yeah.
And then no wonder why they didn't understand anything all day.
Yeah.
Didn't understand anything through the training. And I start working and I struggle. I struggle a lot.
Okay.
Especially when I had customers that speak English and I couldn't really understand them that well, and I will mess up the transaction. They will get mad, call the manager and stuff like that, or where I have to answer the phone. And the funny thing is that you don't understand until you don't know the language, is that you ask somebody to spell their name, and then because they know it by memory, they spell it so fast.
Quick, yes.
That I had to ask 3 and 5 times for people to spell their name. People get mad.
Yeah.
And I had so many people telling me, like, hey, I need to talk to somebody who speaks English. So it was a struggle at the beginning until I was able to learn the banking English, just
the jargon, the specific,
to work the transactions. So I was able to do it, and I did okay, even though I was messing up a lot of transactions. And then I was always helping the Hispanic customers, of course, and I was always doing my best. I'm a strong believer that no matter what you do, you have to do your best, because it's just inside me. I'm not average. I'm not mediocre or nothing. I go all in or nothing.
Yeah.
So when I was cleaning toilets in Taco Bell, my toilets were the cleanest bathroom you could have gone to any Taco Bell.
Man.
I don't care. Like, I would do my best job no matter what it is. And I don't understand why people is afraid of doing that. When you had a job that you don't like, you still there 8 hours a day. You still got to do your best.
Why don't you do your best?
You don't know who is seeing you. You don't know who is watching you, who might offer you or help you with one way. But if you're not even trying, just because you don't like your current position, you're not going to improve your future position.
Man, that's crazy. I didn't even know you clean toilets at Taco Bell, bro.
I did Taco Bell, and what I love about Taco Bell, it was a Taco Bell that was half Pizza Hut, half Taco Bell. So I would get to eat Taco Bell one day, pizza one day. So I didn't have to eat the same every day.
But it's Taco Bell, and there's a reputation around Taco Bell. And those toilets must have been really, really, really bad.
When I'm telling you that I started from the bottom, I really mean
started
the bottom.
The bottom.
Like, it's not just Taco Bell, I was cleaning the toilet.
But geez, bro, that's such a knowing where you are now and knowing that it even makes your story even more remarkable. But you bring up such a valuable lesson, which is there's an expression I use a lot, is how you do anything is how you do everything.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
And what you don't realize, what you probably do realize subconsciously or whatever, what people don't realize is that what would be a menial or demeaning job, cleaning toilets at Taco Bell, but you're doing it the best you possibly can. Mm-hmm. Subconsciously, it's building that discipline and the skills that are required to really get to the top.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because you're like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do the best I can at whatever it is. And that's what I grew up in my parents' business. Is like, we did everything meticulously as best as we can. We would walk around, pick up paper clips, little staples off the floor with our hands, because we knew in the print business we could reuse the materials, right? And so that allowed, the downhill effect of being so disciplined around what you do matters so much.
For everything
else. Because you, as a successful businessman, one of the biggest insurance agencies in the country, Texas, you have to be meticulous around everything.
Yep.
Customer service, clients,
small details,
sales,
matter.
The small details. Man, that's crazy, man. I applaud you for that, man. Because a lot of people don't come. They're like, oh man, shit, I gotta go clean toilets. Just
so
barely.
This is why I was doing it at that time. I knew that when the managers needed somebody to go and clean, they were gonna call me because I was the best.
That's how you stand out.
Yes. So they were only giving me at that time probably 25 hours because they have multiple people. So if somebody's missing, they give the hours to somebody else. They don't have to pay overtime. But I was looking for money. I was looking for more hours. Yeah. So I was always trying to get full time. So I was able to get my 35 hours. That's the maximum they were giving me at that time. Yeah. And then, so you don't even get close to overtime, right? And then, but every time they needed something or every time they needed somebody, they knew they could call me. So I would always show up like 30 minutes before my time to start, and I would be ready waiting next to the machine. And then the manager will see me like, what time you start? I said, I start at 10, but it's 9:30. She's like, yeah, I'm ready. If you need me to, I'll get in. He's like, yeah, just
clock in.
Clock in. Those 20 minutes, those 15 minutes.
They added up to extra overtime. Yeah.
Then when they see my check, they'll be like, why the hell did you work 43 hours? So like, I never walk in. You didn't tell me. Like, you tell me to walk in, I'm walking. And then they start checking the time. And they're like, man, no, you cannot do that. So like, that's fine. And then after that, they knew I was there. But if they call me in, they're going to have to pay overtime. And they still call me in because I was better than everybody else.
Yeah, so you became more reliable, dependent.
Yes.
And actually, by you doing your best, made them look better too.
Yeah.
Right? As the managers, right?
100%.
Right? So
they were okay with paying me overtime because everything was running smooth.
Yeah.
And then that's how I went to another restaurant. I started working in Culver's. It's a Whataburger. They put butter on the burgers. It's delicious. If you get the chance, try it. I don't think it's the best for
Shout
your
out
heart,
to Culver's.
but they give me an opportunity to start working.
Yeah.
And they also offer me $7.25. And then the first thing I asked the manager is like, how can I make more money? They said, well, nobody works overtime. I said like, okay, that's fine. How can I make more money per hour? And then she said, the only person that makes more than $7.25 is the kitchen manager. And I said, like, how do I become the kitchen manager? She's like, you just started, but if you want to know, you need to pass an exam for all the 7 stations in the kitchen. They have fryers, they have salad, they have grill.
You gotta know everything about everything in the kitchen.
You need to know the temperatures, you need to know how long, you need to know all the ingredients. And I said, like, done. When can you teach me those things? So like, you gotta learn it on your own. So every day I put effort to work in a different station. So I learned all the stations. And then I was able to learn all the stations, and I study a lot, the temperatures, the books and everything. And about 3-4 weeks later, I walked to the manager and said, like, I'm ready for the exam. And then she said, like, no way, you only been here like a couple months. I said, actually, not even 2 months yet, but I'm ready for the exam. Can you do the exam? She's like, okay. And then I said, like, how much the managers make? The kitchen manager, they say like $8, something like that per hour. So like, that's fine, I want it. And they get a nice shirt. The shirt is different. It has like checkers. It has like different colors.
Yeah,
so like, I want the shirt.
You're the boss man.
I want the shirt.
Yeah.
And then she gave me the exam, I don't remember if I passed it at first or if I had to retake it. It was so many years ago, but I passed it. And then the people that were in the kitchen, they couldn't believe it. And then I said like, well, now I'm the kitchen manager. They said like, yeah, just wait until your next paycheck. My next paycheck come up and I don't see the difference. I still see the same money.
Yeah.
So like, what's happening? And my title is the same and I haven't got my shirt. They're like, well, we don't have shirts and this and that and stuff. And then the next paycheck shows up the same. And I said like, I'm not getting my money. I'm not getting my shirt. What's happening? And then she walked to me. She said like, hey, Polo, I'm sorry. The other people in the kitchen start complaining because some of the guys has been there for 6 months and one of them 1.5 years, and they haven't become the kitchen manager, and they don't want you to be the kitchen manager. And I said like, screw them.
Yeah.
Because I did what you told me to do. I followed the rules. I got results. You either give me kitchen manager or today is my last day.
Yeah.
And then she said like, but what you talking about? Like, you need this and stuff. I said like, nope, today is the last day. And then I said like, just change it on the computer. I want to see my name there to be kitchen manager or I'm walking out. And then I worked the whole day. And at midnight, whenever I left, I saw the computer. I saw my position still the same. I took my shirt off. I gave it to her. And I said, see you later. I will not come again to work. Don't count on me tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I started looking the next day for another job. And then about 2 days later, she called me back. She said like, Polo, I got you. You're already kitchen manager. I got your shirt. I said, too late. I already started working in Taco Bell.
Which is Taco Bell cleaning toilets.
Yeah, I started from the bottom.
Starting from the bottom again. Okay, man, there's a lot of lessons. This is way before the bank though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes. But the lesson here is a lot. Unpacking that, when did you realize that growth happens by doing more than what's required? You understand?
Yes.
You're showing up 30 minutes before your actual shift.
One thing that I understood early here in United States is that here in United States, you get paid based on the difficulties of the problems that you can solve. So if all you can do is ask, would you like some French fries with that? You are destined to get paid a minimum. But when you start improving the problems that you can solve, then you start getting paid more.
It's creating value. You're adding more value.
Add the value, then you get that worth.
Yes.
So I always been looking forward to see what's the best I can do, what that extra mile, what else I can add. And then I learned that works actually for personal relationships as well.
Of course.
When I start talking with somebody, I'm always trying to figure out what are the things that I can do to help this person that is in front of me. And then how can I add value to this person, this conversation.
And the relationship.
So when that person leaves, they say something nice about me. It's like, oh, that was good.
Like you could walk away good and feeling good about that. Yes.
When you are trying to do that in every single thing you do, then it start compiling, it start adding up, and then you start getting good overall in everything. Now, I'm a strong believer in karma.
Yeah,
so
same.
I do believe that whatever we do, we get it back to us in one way or another. So when I understood that, and then I realized that things were more than about money, I start working towards being better, adding more value to everybody else's.
Yeah.
And then I understood one very important thing, that I needed to level up my group.
Yeah.
Like you just said, you're the average of the people you hang out with. But I needed to be worth to add value to that group.
Yes.
I couldn't be just sucking energy
away, because the universe not going to repay you, right?
How can I become somebody who can add value to a higher level?
Yeah.
How can I level up the group of people around me if I don't know multimillionaire, very successful business owners? So when I realized that there's more ways to hang out with people than physically.
Yes.
So I realized that I could learn from a lot of people by reading their biographies.
Yeah.
Read it about them. So when I'm reading about somebody, I'm connected with that person.
Yeah.
I feel that I am with that person.
Yeah.
So if you ask me who I was hanging out at that time when I was trying to level up, I was hanging out with Walton, Walmart stuff, with Schwarzenegger, he wrote a book, with Jobs, Because I was reading all those books about how those people became what they are today, or what they did.
How they thought, how they
Yes.
think, how they approach problem solving,
Everything.
the challenges in their life. I cannot emphasize the importance of reading,
Yes.
because you think about this. People live a lifetime and then they write their book. You can read their book in a week.
Yeah.
So you're learning lessons of a lifetime inside of 1 week.
Yes.
And if you do that, let's say 2 books a month,
Yeah.
you're learning you've lived the lives of 24
people.
successful people by just reading their biography.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? That's crazy
Most
good. Yeah.
people get disencouraged about reading and things like that, or even training and classes. I guess after growing up, I realized that I'm a big nerd. I love to learn. I love to learn.
Your
cannot
father's
stop.
engineering, I guess.
Yes, that's a big part. And I was really good at math,
Yeah.
and I thought I had to do engineering, and then I didn't like the school, the engineering school, because of the people and stuff. I didn't connect with me, so I decided to go with business and accounting. So accounting, I use the same numbers and stuff, and then I realized while I'm going through accounting, wasn't really accounting what I wanted, was business.
Yeah.
So I switched from accounting to business, but everything that I learned in accounting helped me. But then I realized that I'm talking so much about so many things.
No,
I lost track.
it's okay. As you're thinking, I want to go back to one point,
Yes.
to your Culver's thing.
Yes.
When you did the requirements and you felt you had internal value and you didn't get what you wanted, you drew a line in the sand. Said, no, not going to happen. It's either my way or I'm out.
Yeah. I knew what I was worth.
Right.
And
So
I
that's
proved
my
it
point. That's my
before
point.
I asked.
Yes. Yeah. How important is knowing your value and being able to walk away, even to a lesser
Yeah.
place?
Start
Start
over.
over again. How valuable is that to success?
When you're confident and you know you can do anything you propose yourself to do, then you can do it.
you can do it, whatever.
If you're afraid, if you don't know you can do whatever it takes to get it, then you will stay back there, then you will suffer. Now, you gotta be very careful between being confident and being
a jerk, egotistical.
Yes, because that's when the entitlement kicks in. And then, I have an insurance office, and my State Farm insurance office, I get a lot of resumes. And then I get a lot of people trying to apply. And then I get some people that do MBAs, that have master's degrees and that have college degrees.
Ivy League,
and then when
whatever.
I talk to them on the phone, they say like, one of their first questions is like, how much you pay? I say like, well, my people start getting paid at this much, and then I pay commissions, and they get paid up to this much. Yeah, because I graduated from college, so I'm looking for at least this many thousand per year. Say like, dude, we haven't even shown me how good you are. You haven't even told me what you can do for me.
Yeah.
And then you're already asking me and telling me what you deserve. Good luck.
No thanks.
I'll call you if anything changes.
Yeah.
But we're good.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong. You go to college and you expect things, right? That's fine. But you need to understand a title, a degree, a piece of paper on the wall doesn't make you deserve nothing.
Yes.
You need to earn it.
Yeah.
Now, the degree is a very good thing. It shows commitment. It shows you're smart enough to pass exam. It shows you can do through the regular things. And that might be necessary for a lot of careers, a lot of things.
Yes.
But for example, when it comes to sales and stuff, it means nothing.
Business, no.
Business in general.
The best MBA is the real world. Is the real world. 100%. You got to learn the business of business.
Yes.
And you don't get that in a college or degree plan or whatever. It's business.
No,
so that's crazy good. So, but then also understanding your value then. The value is through what you earn.
Yes.
Not what you think you deserve.
Yeah. Not what you think you can do, but what you have done. What you have already.
Yeah.
And then you gotta bring that level up, and then the money, the positions, and things will come. So for example, I started working at the bank, and then I became a teller, and then I started helping mostly Hispanic people because I had that broken English. So and then
bitches.
I'm a bitches situation. And then the people start liking working with me. So at one point, there were 4 tailors, and then there's a line for the whole tailors, and then they put me on the corner, and I will have my own lane. There will be people standing in line waiting for me to help them. So there was a line for the other 3 people.
Yeah, what's the difference?
And there was because I care. Because I wanted to do better. I was helping people. I was explaining. I was talking with them.
Adding the value, right?
Yes, every
adding
conversation.
the value, how you can help.
Because no matter what you're doing, if I'm going to stay there for 8 hours, I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to try to have fun at it.
Yeah.
Because, life is too short.
Sure, yes.
So you got to have fun at everything. You got to enjoy the journey. You got to enjoy every single minute of your life. Or if you're always waiting for that next thing to happen, if you're waiting for the Friday to enjoy, if you're waiting for whenever you graduate, whenever you get married, whenever you have kids, when
you're
you
always
start
going to be waiting.
You're always going to be waiting because there's always going to be something next. But you got to enjoy every day because we don't know when will be our last day.
Yes, exactly,
so
man.
I was enjoying it. I was having fun and I was good at it. So I got a lot of people waiting. Sometimes there will be no lane and there will be 3 other tailors there and there will be people waiting, 5, 6 people waiting for me. And then I started becoming a lot more transactions than everybody else. So everybody was running 80, 100 transactions a day. I was running 200, 250. But then it comes with some problems too, because I wasn't the best teller, to be honest. I was just a good, hard-working person.
Yeah.
So I was doing more, and then I messed up a few times.
Yeah.
So almost every night, I will be missing or having extra money in my drawer. When you work in a bank, that's a big issue.
It's a big deal.
Because either one of the two, they're not good.
They're not good. They're thinking you're stealing.
You either took it from somebody
or
you
didn't
gave somebody else more money.
Yeah.
So every night there was a problem and we're fixing it. And then they start talking about firing me, because of after these many offenses, then the next
they
step
have no
is
choice.
To get fired.
Yeah,
Legally,
have no
they
choice.
have to fire me.
Yeah.
And when there was a transaction more than $10 or something, and then I got a couple of 100s and a couple of 50s.
Like, what the hell,
and
Paulo?
then it was a mess, and I was just doing so much more than anybody else that it was so difficult.
It's a frantic pace.
And I wasn't the best. And to be honest, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, and the more I do, the more mistakes I will do.
Yeah.
So, but they couldn't let me go. Because I was the best teller. And everybody wanted me there.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't there, people were asking for me. And I was the only one that was willing to work any weekend. I was the only one when somebody was sick, they could call me even on my day off. And they knew I would be there because I was going to get paid overtime.
Yeah.
So I was the only banker that would be willing to open and close the bank because it will require 14 hours work. And I was fine with that.
Good.
And then they couldn't fire me. So they were forced to give me a personal banker position.
You got promoted.
Yeah, I got promoted
to get you out of the teller. To get you out of the teller, put you behind the desk.
So I didn't have to touch cash. So that was the only position that I couldn't touch cash. So I could open accounts and things like that.
That's good.
So when I got that promotion, a good friend of mine told me about an opportunity about becoming a mortgage loan officer. And then he said, man, they offered to me, but 100% commission, dude. No, I have a family.
Bills. I got bills. I got to pay money to my mom.
He had been working at the bank for like 10 years at that time. He was very good. He was way better than me. Yeah. Way better. And then he said, like, I was thinking that maybe you should apply. I said, like, hell yeah, I want to apply. Like, where do I go? I want to apply. How much is it? He's like, well, it's 100% commission. He's like, well, how much money people are making? I don't know, $50,000. I was like, hell yeah.
Because like, you're capping out at what, 20 grand a year?
Yes, I was like 26,000.
Yeah.
So I was like, hell yeah, I want to apply for that thing. So I was making about $11 an hour by that time. And then they were paying for college. So I was getting a few extra,
tuition
benefits.
bills,
Yes. So I was like, let's say $26,000 or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But then I went to the interview. I met the vice president of the bank. And then I did a hell of an interview.
Yeah.
It was good. There was
didn't
no
talk about
bitches.
He
already knew. Everybody knew.
Yeah. Okay.
But very nice guy, and he wanted me for the position, so he gave me the offer. And then he tells me, "This is what we pay. This is what we want you to do." I said, like, 100% commission. They said, like, well, you're gonna get your own office. I got my own office, not a cubicle, like an office with a door and my own phone,
name on the door.
And then no time schedule because
it's your commission.
100% commission.
Yes.
So I could work anytime I wanted to. I didn't have to be there at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I said, like, that sounds good. But that 100% commission thing Now, at that time, I realized something very important. The reason why they were looking for a Hispanic or bilingual loan officer was because there's some laws on banking, redlining kind of things and stuff. And they didn't have anybody who would do Hispanic. So they were lacking on the Hispanic loan size. And legally, that can be an issue. So they could be sued. They could get in trouble.
For discriminating against loading. Things
like that. Okay. So when I realized that they needed me more than I needed them.
Leverage.
I came back to say, and I said, I would love that position. But let's talk about base salary. How much I can make on that job? They said 50 to 60,000. I said, like, why don't you give me a $40,000 base salary and then cut my commissions? Pay me half of the commissions. So I only make $20,000 in commissions so I can get to the same 50, 60,000, but I get a $40,000 base salary. He said, like, well, that will require to create a new position because by bank, every position has their salary.
The title, yeah.
I said, like, do whatever you have to do. I'll be willing to do it, but because of that. Then my friend called me and then he said, like, dude, what the hell did you do? I said, like, I don't know what happened. He's like, they called me. They said that they're going to give you the position. They said they're going to give you $40,000 the base salary, which is more than me. And they said they're going to give you the big office. I said, like, wow, awesome. Thank you, brother. I said, like, what the hell? I just asked for it. I just asked for it. I said, like,
wow, man,
my friend didn't even ask for it. You know,
so you don't know. So you don't know.
So if you don't ask, the answer will always be no.
Oh, man. That's
so
gold.
I got that job.
That is
awesome.
Gold, bro. Let me go back just a little bit, man, because we go back to the just doing enough versus doing the extra. And then people will say, man, how come you get so lucky?
Yes.
Right? How come you're so lucky?
I love that.
Because you do the extra and it puts you in situations that normally would not come up.
Yes. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready for the opportunity. When it shows up,
be ready. But the opportunity presents because you're doing the extra.
Yes.
You're doing the extra, adding value.
Yes.
Most people come in a relationship in the back of their mind, what can I get out of it?
Yes.
What can I get out of it? What's in it for me?
Yeah, definitely.
When you come in saying, let me just give them everything I can do for them, is that karma coming back around?
We are
in
energy.
Your performance, right?
We are energy, and then the energy changes and transfers, and the energy that you create, that you move, is the energy that you attract.
Yes.
If you are constantly thinking about all the bad things that are happening to you, you have that mentality of, everything is happening
negativity.
To me.
Yes. Victimization. Yes.
Mentality.
Yeah.
You will bring more damage, more problems.
Yeah.
When you start thinking in a different way, and then you start thinking. So, for example, things are very easy to change in your vocabulary, the way you talk, and more importantly, the way you think. Mm-hmm. So, for example, when you think about something, like, for example, when I started my agency, my insurance agency, I realized that all the important agents, all the big guys, all the ones that made it, they all had a lot of things in common. And one of the things that I noticed was Rolexes, watches.
Yeah.
So I started looking at the watches and I said, like, hey, I want a Rolex. I'm going to do whatever it takes until I make enough money to buy a Rolex, right? And then I realized that all them had in common. But then I started realizing all the other important things that they all had in common. All the work ethic, all the risk taking, all the, all that
confidence,
stuff, right?
belief, all that stuff. Yes.
All those stuff. So I started doing all that, and I started learning from the top people, and I started just copying it. I know that's smart. I don't create anything. I just go and.
But
you're attracting
that energy, though.
But when you're doing, you bring that energy, and then good things happen to you. So, funny story about watches. I love watches, and then.
Oh yeah, I know you love watches, bro. I've seen several of them.
So I started learning about automatic chains and the Geneva watches and stuff, and then I realized, and then I started working, and I was hustling, and I was paying more attention to grow my business, to help my customers, to help my employees, to grow my business for my family, and then. I did very well for a while. Yeah. And then at one point, it just 10x, right? Yeah. And then from one moment to another, my check basically 10x. Like it went from like a few $1,000s to tens of thousands of dollars per check. And then when I realized and I look back that I was making enough money to buy a full Rolex with one of my checks. And this is a 2-week check.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was making so much money. The watch was not even important anymore.
Yeah, because it was just.
Yes, that was the wrong thing I was focusing when I didn't have it. And then I started making so much money. I never bought a Rolex. Well, I have one, but
you passed it.
Yes,
You started buying
when I got
or
to
something.
the point that I could buy one, my goals were a lot higher than that.
Yes, you're shifting. Before we go on, I promise the audience, ladies and gentlemen, I just met this dude about a month ago, but everything he's saying is exactly what this podcast is trying to teach. Persistency, working hard, energy, adding value. It seems relevant because the formula for success is very common amongst the successful.
It is.
Understanding that it's energy and it's not just about the money and what you can get out of things. It's actually what you put into things that actually puts out back things to you. So you're talking about, man, I wanted to buy a Rolex. I'm earning, that's all I want. But then you get that fat check and you're like, I don't need the Rolex. I don't want the Rolex, bro. We're jumping.
Actually, I don't even like Rolexes anymore because I feel, and don't get me wrong, for all those.
If you want to send us Rolexes,
lovers,
we'll take them. But
no,
I'm just saying.
I feel Rolex represents something that it wasn't what I was looking for. Rolex represent an status. It just represent money. And what I like about watches is about the personality. Like when you start getting automatic watches, every watch has their own personality. Like I have watches that I know they like me to use them for more than 3 days because they retain the energy, the power stuff. Like when you start getting to that point, so and then I like the way it matches with my how
clothes,
I'm feeling,
your
my
vibe,
clothes, my vibe.
Well, see, now that's an
Rolex, it doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Only means I have money on the bank account and I had no style.
Yes.
And then you start becoming, a P, and I love Omegas. Some people say they're crap.
No, I love Omegas. Well, I love Omegas, bro.
So it's not about how expensive the watch is. It's about what it represents to me. I love Panerais. I got a couple, and I love them. They're great. They're Italian. They're good. And I use them whenever I feel like that.
Yes.
And then I don't have any Rolex. I have one and it's stupid. And I have something that look like a Rolex, but it's not.
But see, that's most people listening are trying to get their first
Rolex
or
I'm trying
first
to
watch.
Tell you is, it doesn't matter.
I get exactly what you feel because I have multiple watches and I wear a tag when it's just like a sporty athletic day. But when I'm dressing up, then it's Rolex. I love my Omegas. So I get it with the watches, bro. I get it with the watches. Crazy. So, but let's go back now. And just to keep, we're going to talk about that mortgage deal and then jumping straight into how you became or what you're doing now that is so grand and successful. So you asked for $40K for commission only, mortgage broker, Hispanic market. A very, very important point. If you don't ask, you never get.
100%.
The answer, I love what you said. The answer is always no if you never ask.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to ask. Mm-hmm. And for me, I would take that one step further. If you ask and the answer is no, that just means not right now.
Yes.
Not right now. Mm-hmm. Right? So you get the mortgage job. How did you perform?
I did extremely well. Remember, I was 22,
making
23
50,
years
60
old.
grand a year.
Yes. I live by myself, and then I didn't even tell you how I started investing in real estate. I've been investing in real estate since I got here, so almost 20 years already. So this might be appropriate to say right now. So about this story of those guys that I met, and I went to their couch, they let me sleep there for a while, and I told them like, hey, I think I can purchase a house with 4 bedrooms, and then I can rent you guys for the same $300 each of you is paying here. They were paying $900 for an apartment. So I rented each of them a room for the same $300, but we're gonna have our own apartment. We were 22, right?
Yeah.
Going to college.
Party house, man.
I
Hey.
said, like, we can party every day because we had no neighbors.
Because you own the house.
Yes.
You're not a tenant.
We
right?
had no neighbors.
Yeah.
I'm the owner, not a landlord.
Yeah.
And then you will park in front of the house. Everybody will have a spot in front, so you don't have to park 2 blocks away, walk on the snow, go up the stairs. And they said, like, we're in.
Sold.
So
Done.
I bought a house for $72,000 in around 72nd Street in Omaha, Nebraska, a few blocks
How
away
old are you?
from.
How old are you?
I was 19.
So you're a home owner.
Yeah. I think I
$72,000
probably was
house.
20 at that time.
20 years old.
Yes.
But
And then-
you did this in 2 years.
Yes.
Since coming to America.
Yes. Even a little bit.
When
less.
people have been working a lifetime and still can't afford a house.
Yes. The very first thing I did the day after I got my social security number was to apply for a credit card. And then most people is
building
afraid
credit.
of credit cards, but I understood that I had no money. And it was going to take me a while until I built money. But there is a lending system and you need credit to get
Bigger loans.
So what I did, I opened a $500 bank account, and then they give me a secure credit card because I had no cosign. They asked me like, "Hey, you had no credit, so you got a cosigner?" So like, I don't know anybody in the state.
Yeah.
So this is my social security. I just start working and say like, "Well, secure credit card, $500, you put it." So I opened 3 secure credit cards as soon as I could. As soon as I have $500, I put the $500. I will take the credit card, use the money. Whenever I have $500, I went. So I opened those 3 credit cards. 22 years later, I still have 2 of those cards. The other one, they cancel it because they changed it to something else.
Yeah.
But 2 of those cards, I still have it today. So
Is it a reminder?
no, because it's that important. Credit is that important. And those accounts
got
are
it,
aging.
Yeah,
Those accounts are aging.
So you have
my
20 years
history
of
looks
credit.
Perfect
Yeah.
because I had 20
What's
years
the limit?
of
Still
credit.
$500?
Oh, it's like I think right now it's like a 7,000. They give me the money back. They put it like 1,000 and they increase it, and then the same with like business credit. A lot of people don't understand how important business credit is. And some of the small business owners that I deal with, that's one of the main things that I help them with, is set up the right structure so they can do the debt, they can do the loans on the business name, not on their personal. So it doesn't affect them. But then people wait until they need that big loan to start learning about credit.
It's too late.
It takes 6 months to 2 years for you to prepare so you can be ready for the loan. So it took almost 2 years for me to buy my first house, but I already have perfect credit. More credit than many other people that have lived in the United States their whole life.
Did you know the system?
I learned it. While I was going to school, I started learning, and I started asking about loans, about credit cards, about things like that.
Okay.
And I realized that it was available. It was out there for people.
So one thing I'm getting from your whole life this far to buying this house is a lot of things you're learning because of your curiosity.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
And so a lot of people are not curious.
Yes.
They accept life as it is versus asking questions.
How could it be?
How could it be? What can I do? What do I need to learn? Where can I go? Who can I talk to? All these things that are specifically critical to getting to that next step.
Yes.
Because if you're not it's the energy. If you're not curious about it, how are you going to get the energy to go out and get it?
Our
right?
brain is so powerful, we don't even know how it works. We
Yeah.
don't understand how much we work out of our brains. But there is something that, our brain blocks about 99% of the things that are out there because it lets you focus on the things that are important. So you don't have to be thinking about like breathing because your body does it itself.
Yeah.
You don't have to be thinking about things like that, right? So when you start thinking about something, then your brain will show it to you because they know it's important. So for example, when you're thinking about buying a McLaren, now all of a sudden you start seeing McLarens everywhere.
Yeah.
And then people think it's like, oh, it's because the phones are listening and they're putting me the advertising. No, dumbass. You search for it. So that's called retargeting. But now that advertising was there before, you just didn't notice it.
Yes.
Now, like when women are pregnant and now they see, oh, everybody's pregnant around. No, they were all pregnant before. It's just you were not noticing it.
Yeah.
So you gotta pay attention to the important things. So when you start thinking about what can I do to be better, how can I bring money, you start focusing on getting better, then opportunities will appear.
Yeah, it's gold, man. It's so gold because that, ladies and gentlemen, the audience, if you're listening or watching, that is exactly how it works. It's exactly how it works. So when you think about, man, that guy's so lucky, that girl's so lucky, they always get the opportunity. No. It's because they're thinking about it and attracting that opportunity, bro.
Yeah.
So
don't get me wrong. There are some people that get lucky. So
No,
I
they
have
do
met
get
a
lucky,
lot of people that has become lucky because of one way or another. Now, is that person, just because they had something that is very good, maybe they make $10 million. So they got the $10 million, they won the lottery.
Yeah.
Are they successful? No. So success has nothing to do with money.
No.
So success to every single person is something different.
Different.
To me, success is a combination of a lot of things. And what I think success is to me right now might be different than what I think it will be in 10 years.
Or
what
in
it
the
was
past,
10 years ago.
Well, yeah.
So right now, I consider myself extremely successful. And the reason why I'm successful is because I am able to do things that are important for me, and my basic needs are taken care of.
And
so
your family's needs.
What do I mean? My basic needs is taking care of my family.
Yeah,
I have no needs.
Yeah.
I could literally sleep under a bridge.
Yeah.
I have done it. I have slept on a couch.
Yeah.
I have no needs, but my family is taken care of. So when I say me,
it's
it's
wildly.
my
I think that's a equally wildly successful value.
Yes,
definition.
and then, but I own my time. Like I could be here talking with you for 10 hours.
Yeah. Which
Like,
we probably could, bro.
I could. And then if you let me, I'll talk for 10 hours. Those that know me know that I can talk for hours. And then, but I'm able to pay for my basic needs of my family. You know, we got
freedom
a
of time,
house where
freedom of energy.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes.
So, and then I'm healthy. I can do things to stay healthy. I can eat the right diet so I can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I can exercise. I can spend as much time as I want, but as I can with my kids, because there's just so much time I can spend with my kids.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong. It's just, especially during the COVID, I learned there's just so many hours a day you can play with your kids.
So many psychological hours.
Yes, you get to one point that
it comes from loving them to like,
get them away from me.
Get them away from me.
Exactly. For all those that had more than one kids, they understand.
So you're early 20s, you own a home, renting it out, mortgage guy, making $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Yes, my friends moved into the house, paying the house. I bought it for $72,000.
And they're paying
so
your
my
equity.
monthly payment was like $650
So
a
you're
month.
profiting on your roommates. They're building your equity.
And this is something very important. A lot of people ask me about real estate and how to start in real estate. And a lot of people think that you need to have a lot of money to start in real estate. And you're going to go online and you're going to find a lot of people that will tell you, gurus, how to start in real estate with no money and stuff like that. And then you got to understand who you listen to. You know, who you hear advices from. Because there is a big difference between advice and opinion.
Yeah.
And then what I consider is an advice is from somebody who has
done it. Yeah.
Who has achieved.
Yeah.
Anybody else is giving
Just
you an opinion.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful. You can
very smart distinction
to everybody, but you gotta be careful who you hear.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So there are gurus out there that will be selling you how to make money how to do real estate without your money and things like that. And then there's other people that has been successful in real estate, and those are the people that you want to walk to and ask how they have done.
I think that applies in any industry. Like if you want to be successful in this industry,
you need to
find somebody who's actually been successful in that industry.
Yes.
Not business life coaches that don't know anything about that business.
Don't look at the car. Don't look at the watch. Just look
resume,
deeper.
Experience.
Look at the size of the business. Look at the amount of employees. Look at all those things.
Yes.
So when you start asking the right questions to the right people, you will get the answer. So this is something I wanted to talk about, because real estate. I get a lot of people asking me about, I want to start doing real estate. And then everybody is going right now for the commercial, for the multifamily, because that's what everybody else is saying. So how did I start doing real estate 20 years ago when I was 19-year-old and I was making $11 an hour? I was able to find a FHA loan that requires only 3% down payment, which the seller could give you a contribution 1%, 2%, 3%. I've been doing mortgages for 20 years, so I know mortgages now. But at that time, I learned, so the seller can pay part of your down payment for the closing costs and stuff. And there are a lot of opportunity for first-time home buyers and low-income people to get help to get that 3% down payment. So when I closed that loan at $72,000, I didn't have to bring any money of my money, because it was 3% down payment. The seller pays like 1% or 2% for the closing costs. So they pay closing costs. And I got assistance for the 3%. And then at closing table, they give me a $500 check because the collective of all the numbers, when they pay taxes and everything, they actually collected too much money.
So you came out ahead.
At that day, I bought my first house, owner occupied, single family home, FHA loan, 3% down with help assistance for the down payment with no money down. And my 3 roommates were paying my full mortgage. And
you still live there.
Yes, and I was living with them. And then we were partying every day. So, man, it was fun.
Yeah, wow.
And then they stayed with me. We're still today very good friends, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded. So 2 years later, when I was able to save some money to put a 5% down payment because you don't get the 3% and stuff again.
It's first time home buyer,
When I was able to save 5% because I wasn't paying mortgage, so I was saving money, I was able to buy a bigger house with more bathrooms because we only have limited bathroom in the other house.
Yeah.
And then they all moved with me too. So
now you got
two
now I had those
incomes. 2 houses.
Yes.
And then I had the first one I rented out to a family.
Yeah.
So full single house rental, and I became a landlord. And then I had my single rooms that I was renting to my college guys.
Yes. Yeah.
And then basically I was getting paid a full-time job passively.
Yeah.
Owning a single family or 2 or 3 is not passive income, so be careful with that. But that's how I started investing. And then every 3 to 5 years, I have been purchasing a home to live on myself with my family. I normally buy it in short sales, foreclosures, or just plain and simple ugly homes. When I learned the whole thing about, people
the worst house on the best block.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the house that look ugly, you gotta go deeper and look at what is it that make it ugly. Is it the colors? Is it the furniture? Or is it the actual structure? If it's the structure, it's very expensive to change. But I have bought some houses that just by changing the color, it make it already $20,000 more expensive.
Yeah.
Because everybody want it now. I had a house, like, I'm not kidding you. I bought a house and I only painted white. Everything white, like the trims, everything white. I just bought like 15 gallons of white paint, and then I pick up one of the guys from Home Depot, and I say like, "Hey, do you know how to paint?" He's like, "Yes, I know." He didn't know, but we were gonna figure it out together.
Yeah.
So we spray paint everything because. Then I realized how difficult it is to paint with spray when I learned that. And then, so I had to finish everything was white.
Yeah.
And then we clean everything up after. And then when I look back at the house, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
This is a nice house.
The bones were great. It just looked ugly.
It just was bad. And then
you flipped the house.
The house. Yeah. I put a couple of nice furnitures. I did a couple of things. I make like $40,000 from the house. And then I've been flipping houses and stuff. And then I kept some for rentals. But my own house, I've been upgrading my own house every 3 to 5 years.
To a bigger house,
when I found a big, nice house in a nice neighborhood that might need some cosmetic, might have something that can make it better, I started negotiating. And then if I get it for the right price, boom. I tell my wife we're moving again. And then now with the kids and school, everything's a little bit more difficult. But that's how we did it. Yeah. And then my first house here in Texas, I bought it for $120,000. It was a short sale. So the negotiation was very painful. It took about 9 months or so to close the deal.
Because they have to go to foreclose the other side before they can sell your side.
There were 2 loans, so we had to get approval from foreclosure for short sale for 1 loan. And then later they said, like, no, we need another one for the other one. It was very painful. So I was able to get it for $120,000. I lived there for about 3 years. I painted and upgraded it. I added patio, driveway, kitchen. And then I was able to sell it for like $180,000, $190,000. Yeah. So I profited like $70,000 out of that, maybe $50,000 out of
net,
after expenses. And then I moved on to a $220,000 house I bought on a foreclosure deal. And then that was very damaged. It was nasty and stuff. So it took a little while for me to fix it before we can move in. And then I was able to sell that one for like $330,000 and things like that.
So keep building. You keep building value, equity, value, equity, value, equity. All along this time now, and fast forwarding it real quick. You go from Omaha, Nebraska to Texas, and the move to Texas was because you got into insurance sales.
I wanted to open my business.
Okay, your own business, not work for the bank, not working for a commission.
I decided that when I was in Omaha. And then
what went into that decision?
Mortgages were great. Actually, I was doing so good that, remember, I was 22.
Yeah.
So I would show, my friends still joke about this. Because I still friend from some of the guys. I would show up like at 11:30 a.m. you know, and then I would walk to their cubicles and they say like, hey, what's up, brother? What are we gonna eat for lunch? They're like, motherfucker, you haven't even, I've been here since 7 a.m.
You haven't even opened your desk,
your
turned on your computer. Yeah.
And you're already thinking about lunch, man. And then that was funny. So I wasn't working that hard, to be honest. I just was having fun because I have $40,000 base salary.
Yeah.
I didn't have to work
You
that
didn't have
hard.
to hustle.
And I still talked to a few
commission.
people and I still closed deals.
Yeah.
So I was closing deals and I was getting paid good. So I didn't have to work that hard. And then I started thinking like, what's my next step? So I like working with people with credit and helping them buy their first house and helping them
It's a good feeling.
and things like that. It was a great feeling.
Yeah.
It was a great feeling, especially with Hispanic people,
Yeah.
where a lot of people in the minorities are being taken advantage of because they were not really good people trying to do it. It was just the sharks that were trying to get an easy prey.
Yes.
So for me, it was easy to help a lot of people and feel good about it and get paid for it.
In the right way. In the right way.
Definitely. And then that was 2005 time, you know, remember 2005 for all those you all enough.
This is right before the mortgage collapse.
Was getting crazy.
Yeah.
So I started realizing
that we were doing some of y'all, no
documents,
no income,
credit,
no down payment, 100%.
We had one loan that was like Nina. I don't even remember what it means. It was like no income, no credit,
assets.
no verification, no asset, no income, no credit, Nina. No, we didn't verify nothing. If you were breathing, you can sign here, get a house. And then we were doing 100% loans. 125% loans. I even myself, I had a house that I purchased at 125%.
Okay.
But
so
I did
which
it for
means
investment purposes.
which means you come in for a loan, the house is worth $100,000, the bank would loan you $125,000.
Yes.
Which it just blows my mind.
It was crazy. But that was 2005, 2006 now.
Because the bank would think that home is going to flip again for 150.
Yes.
Right?
The houses were going up so fast, they were not concerned about the negative equity.
Yeah.
So, like I said, my vision let me see things a little bit ahead of most people. So when I saw that, I did two things. First, I took advantage of it. I did purchase an investment property at 125%, and what I did was use the 25% to improve it and stuff. So I put it back in. I didn't just waste the money.
Yeah.
And then, but I also started looking for a different market because I realized that it was impossible. It wasn't sustainable.
Not sustainable. Can't sustain
so
it.
So it was impossible to continue that way. And then a lot of banks were going to get hurt and it was going to damage everything. So I started looking for something that was not mortgage related. But then I started learning about passive income.
Okay.
You know, making money while you sleep, making something that will continue to make you money. When you do mortgages, you get paid very good.
But it's a one-time deal.
2-3%.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money. $300,000. You can get paid
$6,000, $9,000. Yeah.
So it's good money, right? And then, but it's a one-time deal. Most people refinance or purchase an house between 5 to 7 years. So if you're good, they might come back to you. But
you might not be in the same spot.
Exactly. So I started looking for something that would pay me, that I sell it one time and I will keep getting paid. That's how I started thinking about insurance.
Residual.
Yes. Residual income is gold.
Yeah.
So I started learning about insurance and I decided, you know what? I think I can actually do insurance and mortgages. And then I started researching about insurance and I researched all the insurance companies. I went to talk to more than maybe 200 insurance agents, all the independent, all the captive agents in town. I went to meet with them and I talked to the audience and I asked them a couple questions. How much money you make? How happy you are?
Yeah.
And then the common question I got from most people after they had been agents for 5 years, they didn't even want to tell me how much money they were making. They were concerned because they were making too much money. They would tell me things like a lot. And they were all telling me like, I'm very happy. I was like, that's all I'm looking
that's
for.
All I need to know.
A lot of money and you're happy.
Slow down real quick. That's very visionary on two aspects. One, the foretelling of the future for you was not only just the good things.
Yeah.
It was also the warning signs.
Yes.
Right? You're like, holy shit, I'm making good money, but this is not sustainable. So I need to.
How long can I keep doing this? It's not going to contain.
Okay. Which was prescient because 2008, the economy collapses.
Yes.
The second thing is you went out and actually talked to people in the industry that you wanted to go to. Now, they call it the 900-pound phone.
Wow. Okay.
Right? Because it's like people are afraid to pick up the phone and talk to a stranger.
It is.
Right? Even for sales. But in this case, you're calling other agents.
Yeah. It was even more difficult because
they don't know you.
They had nothing. They knew I wasn't looking for insurance.
Yeah.
So one
like,
of the
what was
things
that conversation
I did,
like? How did that happen?
Well, many of the agents, because I figured out who were the top agents, and then I will be going for them. I wanted to talk to them. So many of the agents would not talk to me, and they would not set up an appointment.
Who are you?
And they say like, no, I'm busy.
Yeah,
I'm busy. And then I will be sending emails, and they would even reply. And I will keep calling them. I will keep sending emails.
The same one.
And I will walk to their offices in person. I said, I need to talk to the agent. And then, who are you? What are you looking for? And stuff. And right now, it is very difficult. Go to my office and try to talk to me. Like, it's very difficult. And then, but I did it. There was an agent that I followed for about 6 months.
Tracking him down.
Every week, I was calling him, emailing him, and stopping by his office. One day, he woke out. He's like, so you're that kid that keep emailing me? I said like, yes, sir. I said like, come on in, man. Like, come on, man. You're persistent. I said like, yes, sir. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. I don't want to take a lot of your time. And I met with him, and then he told me how much he was making. And I said, like, I'm done. How can I do what you do? Let me know what's the first step. And that agent is still a very good friend of mine today.
That's crazy because a lot of people would stop at the first
objection,
hang up, first objection,
2, 3
no's, and then you're like, this guy doesn't want to talk to me. But you're there 6 weeks.
So one thing that I learned from that, and what I'm trying to do is that when I became successful within the company, I wanted to be reachable. I wanted to be able
accessible.
Yes, I wanted agents to be able to talk to somebody successful that had done it. And then in my company, there is 19,500 agents or so.
Okay, let's go back. Let the audience know. So what do you do now?
I'm an State Farm insurance agent. My agency is here in the southwest area of Houston, around Sugarland, Richmond, Rosenberg area.
Okay.
And then I started about 14 years ago, and I started from scratch. 0 customers, 0 policy. I did not know anything. I was 24 years old, and I just wanted to learn and do good.
Okay.
And then I've been blessed. I learned how to do this, and the company has been very good to me. Texas has been wonderful for my business and my family, and I have been able to grow my agency to top in the country. I've been ranked in the top 10 of the company. I've been ranked twice, in number 6 and number 8 in the company.
In the entire country, now 19,000. You're top 6,
yes,
number 8.
I was number 6, and they give me a trophy and stuff, and then they give me a convention in Las Vegas. They put me on stage in front of like 60,000 people from the company, and they put me and my wife. And there it was a wonderful experience. It was good. And I learned a lot from it. But when I got to those
crazy.
levels,
well, don't be a little bit boastful. I want you to feel proud for a moment, man, because to be top 6, top 10 out of 19,000, that's pretty elite.
Yeah,
that's very elite.
Yeah.
In insurance, which is a very commodity business, very competitive, but very commodity, right? It's insurance is not one of those exotic products that, I really would love to have insurance. It's like, no, you got to have insurance.
Yes.
And so where sales is price, everybody's priced within the same plus or minus 10%.
Oh yeah.
So to be really good at it requires a lot of other things.
A lot.
So what top 3 allowed you at 20 and 14 years to become that elite? What things did you focus on? What did you think about? It's like, man, if I'm going to open an insurance agency, these are the things I need to do to become the top. So,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or did it just happen?
I got 3 things.
Or just happen?
I got 3 things that I just thought about this, and let me see if I can remember on all 3. But the very first thing is the mindset.
Okay.
The mindset has been the most important thing in order for me to achieve any of my successful stories.
Yeah.
In my mindset means a lot of things, but the most important thing is whatever it takes. I don't stop when I'm tired. I'm stopped when I'm done.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't matter how long it takes.
That's a Kobe Bryant expression.
It doesn't matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
I know that smart. I don't invent things. I don't create things. I just read a lot and I learn from other people. So 75%, not even half, more than half of what I'm saying, I just heard from somebody successful and I just copy it. It get to one point that I forget who said it.
But you apply it to your life, though. You apply it
and
to
then
your
I
life.
feel it like that is mine.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing it every day.
Right.
So the mindset is very important, and whatever it takes. You gotta dream big. But dream is one thing. Dream is when you say you want something. Set up big goals is way more ahead of dreaming. So when you set up big goals, in order to become a goal, you have to have a road map. You have to have a plan of action.
A destination.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
I did learn a lot of things from my dad. Rest in peace. He wasn't along, but he teach me how to drive at a very early age at 11. I learned how to drive a stick with a 25-year-old 4-wheel drive. Russian vehicle was horrible. Mechanics.
Man, I would say 80% of the kids these days don't know how to do a stick. Don't even know what a stick is.
I had to change from first to second with my 2 hands because the clutch
is the trend
and
so
I need
rough.
to push my clutch with the 2
feet because it's so.
Yes, I was 11. I wasn't that strong.
Yeah.
But he teach me how to drive, and one of the first he teach me 2 things that day, and I still remember them like it was yesterday. And I hope I can teach it to my kids. The very first thing is that when you're driving, you need to assume that everybody around you is stupid and they're not paying attention.
Okay.
I was like, wow.
I
had no idea what he meant.
Yeah.
But as an accident lawyer, you know
what
I know
what it means. Yeah.
So,
I'm not afraid of how I drive.
Wow.
I'm afraid of how everybody else drives.
Exactly. And I apply that a lot, especially when I start driving my motorcycle.
Yeah.
Because the motorcycle is not as much as how you drive. It's about how everybody else around you drive. Okay. Those are the ones who can cause the accident most of the time. Yeah. So he teach me that. And at that time, I didn't get it. It's like, whatever, everybody's stupid. Okay, I don't know why you're saying that, but that's fine. I still remember today, and I applied it. Like I just assume everybody around me. Let's forget about the stupid part, but they're not paying attention. I'm just assuming everybody around me they're not paying
business,
attention.
in world, in not just in the driving context.
But in the driving, very important.
Yeah.
Because when you're gonna change and you just assume the person see you and stuff they don't.
No, don't.
You assume they're in their line. They're gonna stay there. No, they don't.
Yeah.
They move and they're texting and stuff. So anyway, and the other thing that he told me is that. Before you embark I'm going to translate the best I can because he said it in Spanish, but I think it's something like, before you embark to any journey, you need to know your destination.
Yeah.
If not, you're not going to get anywhere.
You're just going to wander
just like
aimlessly.
If you sit on the car, you put the car key and then you start driving, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to go in circles.
Yeah. Let's be real though. How many of your cars actually have a key? It's a push button, bro.
Not anymore. That's right. But
you gotta know your destination.
About knowing where you want to go, and then figure out your plan to get there.
Yeah.
So every time I sit on my car, this is something that some people find annoying, and then probably the closest people to me, they don't understand it, but that's how I live my life.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna move one step until I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, but let's start walking. It's in that direction. So like, no. I need to know the address. I need to know where I'm going.
Exactly.
Or I'm not going to move because there might be a better way for me to get there. So why would I going to waste my time going here when I can go through here?
Direct.
Exactly.
Yes.
So before you start your car, you need to know where you're going to go and you need to know how you're going to get there.
That pathway.
Yes.
A pathway.
One way to get there.
Yes.
Exactly. You might change along the way, but you have to have a plan. So people who wake up in the morning and they don't know what their day is going to be like, I pity them.
Yeah.
You know, every night
no purpose,
I sit
no direction,
down and I review everything that I'm trying to accomplish tomorrow. And when my eyes open at 6 a.m., 7, 9 a.m., whatever that time is,
you go.
I know where I'm going to go and I know how I'm going to dress and I know where I'm going to be and I know what I expect from that day.
Yeah.
And that purpose has helped me achieve a lot of things.
The mindset. Okay, so
mindset.
Mindset is the first one. Now, a couple others that the audience, because just in scope, what would a top 20 insurance agent office gross revenue be? Or the top 100?
The funny thing is that in insurance, they measure sales.
Okay.
So when I said I'm the number 6, that means that year, only 5 people in the whole company sold more policies than me. So
okay, got it.
So everybody sold less than me.
Got it.
Right? It doesn't mean I'm the biggest. So when I did it, I was the smallest. When I got the trophy,
and
I'm sitting there in front of 60,000 people, There's like 40,000 people that had a bigger book than me that were making more money than me.
But you sold the most.
But I'm the best selling.
Got
My
it.
agency can sell more.
Got it.
So now, things change. So right now, I'm not producing at those level.
Okay.
Because my goals are different.
Of course.
And then I'm not looking, I already got the trophy.
Yeah.
That's the highest you can be. I could have become number one. Somebody told me like, you could be number one. That trophy is a little nicer. But I said like, that it's not. It's
well,
the same.
it's opportunity cost, right? If you're going to focus that energy to try to be number one, you're going to miss out on other opportunities to grow.
ROE, which is different than ROI.
Okay, explain that. Explain that.
So for those who knows a little bit about investment, you can Google it. ROI is return on investment. People want to know how much money I'm going to make for every dollar I invest. What I'm looking for right now is return on energy.
Hey, now we're talking. Now explain that more specifically.
What kind of results am I gonna get and how much energy of my time, my brain activity, my happiness is gonna take away to get that result?
Got it.
That's what I'm measuring right now.
I love that. Because that's more in tune to, there's financial success and then there's life success, right? Exactly. The energy is the real, to me, is the real currency.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
And then I'm looking right now for the best result, for the less amount of stress, for the less amount of time away from my kids.
Yeah.
From the less amount of drama.
Yeah.
And then that's what I'm going for right
because
now. It get to one point that you make enough money. And to me, I heard somebody, and I put it on my social media not too long ago, that more money is not gonna make you happier.
No.
So somebody said, and I agree with that number. He said, and I just shared on my social media not too long ago, and then he said, if you cannot be happy with $20,000 a month, you will not be happy with $1 million a month.
No.
So happiness has very little to do with money.
It's a diminishing return over time.
Yes, it is. It is. But then there is a minimum amount of money that you need.
It's like 80,000. Yeah, it's like 60, 80,000. Yeah.
It depends on the age, the family, the city, the state, the goals, everything. I'm not gonna say what amount of money will make you happy.
Yeah.
But when you have the minimum basic cover, you have shelter, you have food, you have education, you have stuff. Anything above that will not create more happiness.
Yeah, or incrementally small relative to the energy to get that extra money.
Yes.
Right?
So people lose the sensitivity. So for example, remember when you bought your first car? Mm-hmm. You know how happy you were?
Dude, you're
that car,
elated.
how expensive that was.
Yours $400.
I know people, exactly.
You're $400.
And then I know people buying a $360,000 car. And they're complaining about it.
Yes.
They're saying like, this piece of shit doesn't have
breaks down
ceramic brakes, or he doesn't have this or that. I say like, wow.
Uh-huh.
So you need to understand. So my car is old. Our car is older.
Yeah.
I bought my car for a purpose. When I purchase, there's a difference, and you have talked to this about on your podcast. There's a difference between liabilities and assets.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to be an accountant to understand this.
Yeah.
But the easiest way to understand is that assets make you money.
Yeah.
Liability costs you money.
Yes.
And there are some things that you need to, like you need to eat. It's going to cost you money. That's a liability. That's fine. And then when you purchase, most people think their biggest assets is their home. You got to be very careful. When you invest on your home, like I did, I purchased a foreclosure. That's an asset.
Yeah.
Make me money.
Yeah.
But when you're investing in an expensive home because you want to be in a nice neighborhood, it's going to cost you a lot of taxes and a lot of money.
That's a liability.
That's a big liability.
Yeah, and the bank still owns it if you don't pay cash, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you will never really own it, because even if you paid off the mortgage, a lot of people try to pay off the mortgages and be debt free. Here in the United States, you will never own your home. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
If you don't pay your taxes 3 years,
Boom.
Guess who owns your home? I will, because I'm going to buy the lien on it, and then I'm going to own it.
Yes.
So the government, if you don't pay them, somebody else, an investor.
Yes.
So you're never going to stop paying. You always have to pay taxes. Insurance.
Yeah.
And then,
maintenance. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're always going to. So it's a big liability. Now,
okay.
When I purchase my homes, my cars, my watches, I purchase assets. And it's difficult to understand for some people. And then some people think that I spend a lot of money on my cars. I had changed multiple cars. I have Vipers, Porsches, BMWs, Mercedes, whatever, everything. And then every single car, exotic car. The
Yeah.
daily drivers is different.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I make money on my daily drivers too. When you buy it in an auction and then it's damaged and you fix it and stuff. So, but all of my cars, all my exotic cars, I have made money out of them when I sell them. So I normally purchase a car that is already depreciated, that might be undervalued for whatever reason, and then I drive it, I enjoyed it for a while, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, and then I sell it at the right moment. So for example, one thing, the easiest way I made money when I bought my first Viper, it was a convertible. And you know when I went to see
Viper,
it?
Dodge Viper, what year?
Oh, that was the oldest one. That was a 2002.
Okay.
That was a second
Very
generation.
powerful American-made car.
Oh,
Yeah, Dodge.
It was my dream.
Yeah.
To me, I call it the most exotic American car that I could afford, because there's the GT.
GT, yeah, Ford GT.
I'm working on the GT right now. But at that time,
Yeah.
I wasn't even dreaming big enough, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that Viper was the best I could get.
Yeah.
Now I know I can go and buy a GT anytime I want.
No limit on yourself,
Yeah,
man.
now I'm enjoying the McLaren, but I will eventually get a GT, just to say that I have
GT is fantastic.
the best.
And they're very hard to
exotic
get. Very
American
hard to
car.
get. Yeah.
So there's something there for me in the build in America kind of thing that I wanted to have. So my very first exotic, I went for a Viper. So I bought a convertible Viper. They call it RT, RT10 and stuff, because it's a V10, a very powerful 8.0 engine, a lot of power, 6-speed.
Yeah.
I was looking for the clutch and stuff. So anyway, I bought that car.
A clutch you didn't have to use 2 hands and 2 feet.
Yeah, it was a bit different. And so I bought it in January. I bought it like in January 15 or something like that, right after a big winter storm kind of thing that happened a few years ago. Not the big one last year, but it was a little bit of snow. There was a lot of rain. There was a lot of stuff. Nobody was gonna buy that Viper because it was convertible, rear-wheel drive with 800 horsepower
and a clutch.
And then nobody was gonna buy it. So I went to see it like in December, and then I offered some money to the guy, and the guy's like, no, that's too low. And then I went to see it again January 15. Now he wanna talk because he wasn't gonna sell it.
They're not gonna sell
it. So I bought it at the right moment.
Yeah.
Nobody was buying cars. Nobody was buying convertibles. Nobody was buying exotic cars. And then I enjoyed it for a while, and I sold it in the middle of the summer where everybody wants looking for a red convertible.
Yes.
So just by doing that, I was able to drive that car for 2 years and sell it and make a few bucks.
Yeah.
And then I started learning a little bit more about exclusivity, the more important, because
limited production,
limited editions,
hard to get,
like
certain.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I learned that. So I was able to learn to buy more cars that already had depreciated. So I would never buy a brand new car.
Yeah, I would. I don't either.
So
on that level,
I bought the car that I already was depreciated, that went down already $100,000 from value, and then I bought the one that has everything that everybody wants. It's convertible, carbon fiber, blah blah blah, the whole thing. And then I'm gonna enjoy it for a while, and eventually I'm gonna sell it.
For asset. So you bring up a lot of good points, which is timing.
Yeah.
But timing requires you to be able to project in the future.
Delayed gratification.
Because
when you had the money, and then
you want to go get it. You want to go get it.
Actually, most people don't even have the money when they had the credit card available.
Yeah.
They go and get the big TV, they go and get the stuff, and then later they realize what all they do is work to pay for their credit cards.
Yeah, I call it being slave to the matrix, slave to the system, man, right?
You are being a slave. Because you are a slave, you gotta learn how to control yourself. And like I said, the very first two most important problems that I see in the United States is immediate gratification and entitlement.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You need to understand that having the money might not means it's the right time to
spend it. Right. So timing. Delayed gratification. But then also, if it's an asset, you can't fall in love with it.
No.
You can't be
Material things.
It's my first Viper. Oh, I gotta love it. I gotta hold on to it. I'm never gonna sell this.
And it has been difficult for me to sell some of my watches or my cars and my houses.
Yeah.
My wife cried when I tell her, like, we're selling the house. Like, come on, we finally fixed it. Everything is perfect. I finally got the closet I wanted or whatever. But it's for the better.
Yeah.
So material things, and also when I married my wife, I told her that I was gonna take care of her financially, but she needed to trust me.
Yeah.
And then I told her, like, right now we got all this luxury, we got everything we need and a lot more.
Yeah.
I had a lot more than I don't need, and we're blessed. And it's the fruits, is my hard work, you know,
Yeah,
it paid
yeah.
off for my hard work, right? So I'm not saying that it was given to me or nothing. I don't deserve it.
No,
or
you
nothing.
busted your ass, bro.
But I
Yeah.
told her, if we lose it all, are you still gonna be okay with me? She kind of, you know, thought a little bit about it. She said like, yeah. Said like, that's fine. We got a big house, fancy cars and stuff. If we have to go back to small, tiny, little old $500 car or something, you know, in a small apartment all together, are you going to be okay? She said like, yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be very close. Less cleaning, she said. So
Well, more money, more problems,
so
right?
we're
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
And then
But
as long as we're okay with that, I understand that material things don't make me successful or who I am. So I might have a lot of stuff right now, but I don't need any of this.
Yeah.
And when you get to that point where you don't need those expensive things, those fancy things, I can go and travel. I know some of my friends that make more money than me. They cannot travel coach. They cannot travel stuff.
They gotta be private jet. Yeah.
Private jets.
Yeah.
The very minimum they will do is a first class. If they don't go first class, they don't go.
Yeah.
It's like literally.
Yeah.
And then I said like, come on, man. That's when you start being a slave of the money, of the things. And then you will never truly be successful.
Yeah, I mean, let's not get it wrong. If you can afford it all, and it's not a big deal, do it. You can go do it.
But do you need to do
No.
it? That's the problem.
Well, see, that you bring a very good point, because that's the same with my wife. She keeps telling me, we can go live under a bridge and I'll be fine with it. Who knows when it's really tested? We'll see.
Hopefully you don't have to test it.
You don't have to test it. But at least the mentality and the value is there.
Yes.
But it's because you're willing to risk it all is why you're also so successful.
Yes.
You cannot, I call it scared money doesn't win.
No.
It doesn't win. Because if not, you're going to, you ever been in a golf cart?
Yeah.
And you floor it, but it only goes so fast.
Yeah.
It's like a governor.
Yeah.
It's called a governor.
Yeah.
Like it can go faster.
Yeah, but they don't let it.
But it don't let it.
Yeah.
So when you're not willing to risk it all, you're gonna you create your own governor.
Yeah.
Because you know you're not gonna. I'm not gonna push further because I can't risk it all.
Now I need to add to that you gotta be careful because I'm a strong risk taker. I left my country when I was.
But you're not reckless.
What else can I do?
But you're not reckless.
I have been.
Okay, now let's get there real quick.
Mess up.
Some failures, because I don't want to mislead our audience saying, dude, Polo's life has always been great.
No, success is not in a straight line.
Okay, good.
Believe
So
me.
with the little time little time we got left, let's talk about failing and failures and
before
coming
we go
back.
there, you asked me what are the important things, and then I mentioned about mindset.
Oh yes, yeah.
The other two things that I thought, I just remember one of them. The other one is knowledge.
Okay.
Learning.
Avid reader.
Yes. You gotta learn from the top, from the people on the top, from the successful. You need to take advice from those people who have done, and for those people who care to help. Not just for the ones that are trying to sell you something, not just for the ones that are putting their own fears up to you. They're like, don't do it because this is scary. Why would you do that? Why are you risking? You're okay where you are. Why you want to get more? Don't be greedy. Don't listen to those people. But you need to listen to the people that have done and have achieved the things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So you learn. Knowledge has been the second most important thing for me. And that knowledge I learned from other agents, from other books, from successful people like yourself. Like, when I call you and I met, like, hey, I want to learn how you have done what you have done. And then we meet and then we plan on for this
reciprocate.
Today. So, and then that is very, very, very important.
Before you move to the third one or whatever else you want to say, is the knowledge is actually where I think you were able to add the additional value that puts you in position for success, right? Because all things being equal, the person who knows more is going to have an advantage than the person who doesn't seek the knowledge. So you're trying to acquire knowledge everywhere you can.
Yes.
The culture, the language, the banking system, the mortgage system, how to own real estate, how to buy it cheap, how to get to the next job, how to become the head cook in the kitchen at Culver's. Like, it's that knowledge that elevated you each time, or the desire to get the knowledge. Speaking to 200 agents before getting into the insurance industry. Yeah. Right? Successful agents. Yeah. And that made you successful, and all this. So knowledge, I think, is so important. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
The third thing that I can think of when you ask three things,
how to sell, other than how to sell.
the third thing that would be very important and helped me achieve the success that I have done has been patience. I learned how to be patient because I wasn't. I wanted it all, and I wanted it now, and I make mistakes.
Yeah.
And then I mess up.
Yeah.
And then I realized that the long-term success is a lot more important than the immediate gratification.
Okay.
So
Okay, dig into that. Dig into that and talk about some failures.
For
and
example,
stuff.
when
Yeah.
it comes to insurance,
Yeah.
it is very important. My team sell all my policies. I haven't sold one insurance policy in 10 years. Oh, if my bosses are listening to this, well,
We'll delete that out. Maybe.
I haven't sold one policy myself in 10 years or so.
Okay.
Because that's not my job. People ask me, what do you do? I don't say I'm an insurance agent. I own an insurance agency.
Subtle distinction.
I got 10 fully licensed people that work for me, and they sell insurance and they take care of my customers. I take care of my employees, and I make decisions. All my money comes from here. All I have is my decision-making power.
Critical
And
thinking.
Sometimes I mess it up, and sometimes I do things that don't help me on that aspect. One of the things that I learned years ago was eating affect a lot my decision-making power, my brain activity.
Okay.
And then
Elaborate on it, yeah.
I started studying fasting a long time ago before it was a thing.
Yeah.
Before it was popular. I've been doing fasting for about 16 years. The first time that I told my mom that I was fasting and I wasn't eating, she thought I was crazy.
Okay, dig into that a little bit. Like,
She thought I was gonna die because we think you gotta eat every 3 hours, or your headaches or your stomach, you're gonna get acid reflux and things like that. And then I started learning from the top people.
yeah.
God, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, all the religious big figures at one point or another have done some kind of fasting.
Okay.
And then I realized that your brain is so powerful that it controls everything, including your hunger, including your energy, including everything. So you gotta learn how to use your brain to control your body in the way you wanted it. I didn't want it to be I have to eat every 3 hours. It was taking too much time that I could be working or making money.
Yeah.
And then I realized you don't really eat that much food. We eat most of the time for pleasure, but food shouldn't be a pleasure.
No, got it.
Food is a necessity.
Yes.
Food is the fuel
Yeah,
you put in
for your body.
So you gotta make sure you understand that. Now, I'm not 100%. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, no one is.
I love Nutella.
Yeah.
If I open a jar of Nutella, I will finish it.
You scoop
I
it
cannot
up.
just scoop a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
I will finish it.
Okay.
But I control myself.
Discipline.
I don't eat Nutella every day.
Yeah.
But I will. Whenever I feel bad, a bad day, you'll find me in Walgreens buying Nutella. My good friend that knows me, when I had an accident in my motorcycle, he went to visit me with a big jar of Nutella. He knows me.
I love it.
So, but I don't do that every day.
Yeah.
So I realized that I need to fuel my body with everyday food that will allow me to perform at my best.
Mentally perform.
Yes.
Got it.
And physically as well.
Okay.
Because I was able to work 14 hours days and not be tired and sleep good and be ready next day because I was eating right and I was exercising and I have a good healthy body. So my muscles were strong. My body was strong to support a 14 hours working days. And then my brain was strong enough to also, because it's a lot of brain power used when you're working in some of this stuff, right? So eating is a big important part of how I feel.
Okay.
So I do a lot of my big thinking and studying and things like that, fasting. My biggest fasting has been about 7 days. And
so you're taking fluids, but no solids.
You drink water, salt. That's it.
No
potassium, like salt.
Salt. Okay, salt. Got it. Salt, water.
That's it.
No
coffee.
Man.
No food at all. And then I don't do it all the time. I normally try to do 1 to 3 days every month.
Yeah.
At one point I was doing 36-hour fasting every week.
Okay.
And then that helped me. During that time, I feel more energy than when I eat. Now, you don't understand what I mean and you don't believe me? Go and eat a big bowl of pasta with a steak.
Oh, you feel lethargic.
You
feel lethargic. You're just weighed down.
Yeah. So once you get to know your body, every little thing that you eat, you feel how it affects you.
Yeah.
So
I can see the analogy because when you're full, you don't have a hunger.
Yes.
mentally, if you're full, it's you're comfortable.
Yes.
So you don't have that extra hunger to go out and do more or achieve more. Yes. So when you're mentally hungry, like, okay, let me plan, let me get more.
Our brain is very old.
Yeah.
And it had a couple of things that it was designed for.
Yeah.
It was to survive.
Yeah.
And then before we had our strong like fight or flight kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then your brain is just trying to make you survive.
Cope and survive.
And then when it feels that it's comfortable, it stays there.
Yeah.
When it feels that it's being pushed,
it wants to pull back or keep going.
It will keep going.
Okay.
Because adrenaline.
Yes,
so for
you're
example,
reinforcing.
If you had a bird that is following you because it's gonna eat you, you're gonna run faster than ever.
Yeah.
So your brain is gonna push that adrenaline. It's gonna push all those things, all those hormones that is gonna basically make you superhuman for a little while.
Yeah.
Because you need to survive.
Yes.
And then that's how people have been able to lift a car and things like that because of that moment, right?
Yeah.
So when you understand those boundaries and you understand how to push your brain, then it helps you. So I start my fasting at a regular, everybody's fasting for 18 hours, things like that. And then I push it to 24 hours. I went to 36 hours. And then how you break the fast is very important. You don't want to go too heavy because then you damage your stomach, things like that. You gotta start hydrated because you lose a lot of fluid when you don't eat carbs. Most people think it's salts, but you need carbs to hold the water. So when you cut the carbs, you lose all the water, and then you need to keep hydrating. And then salt because you sweat. And then you lose potassium especially, and all the salts that are necessary. And then I learned to control my body, and I can go 7 days without eating. And that day that I went 7 days, I eat because I prove a point. I said, like, I want to go a week without eating. I wasn't hungry. I didn't need to eat, and I wasn't even taking any drugs.
Were you the most productive? Like, how productive were you at that time?
That week was a big test. I didn't exercise. I didn't try to resolve problems or nothing. I just wanted to see if I could.
So you could do it.
And I did feel well. I feel good. I wasn't angry.
You're mentally clear.
I wasn't bad. I gotta eat. Oh my God, 2 more days. No. And I didn't even think I want to go 7 days. I just said, let me see what's the best I can go. And then after 7 days, I said, like, you know what? I'm okay. I can eat. Okay. And then I start eating like some eggs. And then my wife's like, I thought you were eating. You were fasting. I said, like, yeah, I'm done. No.
So before we wrap this up, man, let's dig in a little deeper on, kind of some failures or setbacks and how you got through it real quick.
One of my biggest failure was I tried to diversify. And then people always tell you, you don't want to depend on one income only.
All eggs in one basket kind of thing, yeah.
And then I go 100%. I cannot go half-assed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to diversify. So let me see what's something that I had no idea. Something that is completely different of what I do. I'm doing here financial services. I can do real estate. What else can I do that is completely different? So I said, like, boom, let me do some construction. So I purchased a construction company. And there was a guy that my dad remarried, and then he married his mother, so he's the mother of the new wife of my dad. So he's kind of like I used to call him brother, because to me it was just too complicated. So he's my brother, my little brother, right? And then he was in the United States, and then he got in trouble. He came too young, started hanging out with the wrong people, and then he started doing stupid stuff he shouldn't have done. So he went to jail at the very age of like 19, I believe. Okay. And then he was supposed to be there for 7 years. He came out 3 years because of good behavior and stuff like that. And then he couldn't get a good job because he had a felony, right?
Yeah.
And then I tried to think, like, how can I help him?
Of course.
Right? So I said, like, dude, I'm going to purchase a company. We're going to learn construction. And then you're going to run it and manage it with me. And then we're going to be partners.
Yeah.
And then you don't need to apply to any job ever again.
You're the owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I purchased a landscaping construction company.
Okay.
It does maintenance and build out. And then I started running it. I learned about a year. Mm-hmm. At the same time that I was still running my agency. Mm-hmm. I had my insurance agency, but I never had just one
and real estate investments and stuff.
Yes. I had tenants at the time and stuff. So, and then I started running it with him. I ran it for like a year. I teach him how to do it. And then I let him run it. And then this was my mistake. Trusting people just because I love them. So because they're family, friends, or anything, doesn't mean that they deserve things. And I understood at that moment that family is a lot more than the people that share your last name or your blood.
Yeah.
Family is the people that care for you, that are there with you.
Share
And
values.
you need to understand
Yes.
who's your family and who's not.
Yeah.
And then I thought he was my brother.
Yeah.
I trusted him. So one day, about a year and a half later, after I let him run it, I always with him checking everything, giving him ideas, doing things and stuff. We grew to be one of the biggest landscaping companies in the Woodland. Somebody in the Woodland here, they probably has seen my trucks. At one point I had 16 trucks. It had 16 crews and stuff. I had trailers. I wrap it all with stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were running this big thing because, like I said, I don't do small things.
Yeah.
I go 100%
if you're going big.
Yes.
Good.
And then one day I show up 6:30 a.m. in the morning before the crows show up. They start showing up at 7. So I go to the computer and I start running and I start seeing some bills and I start seeing the bank accounts overdrawn. So like, there's supposed to be like $25,000 bank account. How is it overdrawn? And then I call him and I say like, hey dude, are you coming to the office? He's like, yeah, and a little bit why? He's like, I'm in the office, but I'm looking at some account numbers and I don't understand this. He's like, oh yeah, I'll be right back. And then I found out about a company that we were paying a lot of money. And then he wasn't showing up, but it's like 9 a.m. He didn't show up. And then I call him like, dude, what's going on? Are you coming? He's like, oh, I got busy. I got doing a few things. And then I asked him like, hey man, what is this company? And I gave him the name of that company. Why do we pay them so much money? He's like, oh yeah, that's my company.
Huh.
What are you talking about? You have your own landscaping company now? He's like, yeah. How long you had it? Like 6 months? He's like, and why you haven't told me? He's like, well, you know now, so it doesn't matter. It does matter. So I see we're paying you a lot of money. Oh yeah, I'll be there and I'll explain you. That was the last time I talked to him about 6 years ago.
Never showed up.
So when I went through the numbers and everything, I talked to the crews and everything. After like a couple years fixing the company, getting it ready to sell it, with my CPA, we realized that he stole around $240,000 total. Basically taking money from my accounts, paying his people from my money, using my employees to do his job,
bump up his jobs,
and then charging from my customers to his company. So the total was around $240,000 we lost.
Man.
And then, but the more important and the more painful thing that I lost was I lost a brother.
Yeah.
Because I realized that I never had a brother.
Yeah.
I have my brother, my sons. My mom has a son. He's 17 years older than me. But on him, I thought he was my brother, and I realized that moment he was never my brother.
No.
You don't do that to anybody you love.
No, you don't.
So I learned be careful who you trust, and then when it comes to business, you can trust, but verify.
That's absolutely 1,000%. True. Yeah. And I would say lessons like that are hard to learn, but I would say I would be surprised if anyone really successful hasn't been burned by somebody they thought they could trust.
Yeah.
I would think that's probably a universal kind of lesson that every successful person learns, because why? Now, because of that lesson and being burned, you're very diligent about who you do business with. Right? And then that levels you up to be more successful. I've been burned. I mean, everybody. Yeah. So, anything else about failure? Like, how do you bounce back? Like, kind of,
I'm going to say I hit my lowest.
Yeah.
I hit my lowest at that time emotionally. I couldn't sleep. I had so much stuff going on. My wife was pregnant for my son, and it was a very difficult moment because she needed me, right?
Yeah.
And then my son was born during that time, and physically, I was working 16-hour days. I was driving to the Woodland at 6 a.m. to take care of everything.
The cruise, agency in the Sugarland,
at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., purchasing materials, doing stuff, doing accounting, doing everything, because I was doing everything myself now.
Yeah.
And then driving at 1 p.m. to Sugarland to do insurance. That's about 60 miles drive. And then working there all the way until 8, 9 p.m. And then going back home just to take a shower and sleep. I couldn't even talk to anybody. I was so bored. I did that for a couple of years, and then my agency was producing at the top levels at that time. And then people doesn't realize I was making the most amount of money out of my agency, and I was driving a $5,000 car that I purchased on an auction because I was driving like 5,000 miles per month.
Yeah, you can't put that on your McLaren.
So I was driving so much, and that car was so cheap. And then I will go to meetings, and I never won, and then giving me trophies and giving me stuff, and and I just gotta go back and gotta sleep. And I'm driving a $5,000 car, and people's like, wow, look at him, he makes so much money at that car, and things like that. And then I couldn't even spend time trying to buy a car or anything. Like I was just trying to get out of the hole. So it took me a while, and then it got to one point that I couldn't sleep. I had to start taking medication. So I went to the doctor, and then he told me, like, you gotta sleep because you cannot go like this without sleeping. You're gonna pass.
Yeah.
And then so he diagnosed me with anxiety and depression, and so I went through medication. So now I understand that a lot of people that feel bad is not that they feel bad, it's that their brain is not working.
It's not processing. Yeah.
Their hormones are not working the right way. So people need to understand when you're bad and when you need help.
Yeah.
It is very important, especially for us that we think we're strong. We can do. We
Success.
can take things,
I can do things.
we can take anything, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Invincible.
matter. Yes. And then there's one point that you need help.
Yeah.
And then I took the help, and then it helped me. I took medications, and so I was able to sleep. It took me about 6 months to start being able to get out of the medications, and I went to some more natural stuff, valeriana, things like that, to control my mood and stuff. And then I eventually I was able to grow out of that, and then I forgive him.
Yeah.
I understood that material things are not important. That I mess up a lot of things that I could have done better, and I grow out of it, and I became happy again. And then that I changed my mentality and my agency, and then now I'm not looking for awards, and I'm looking for things. I'm looking for quality time with my customer, with my employees. I'm looking to help more people. I am looking to spend more time with my kids. I've been able. My daughter have been playing soccer almost 2 years. I've been to almost every single practice and every single game.
Yeah.
I think I missed like 2 or 3 practices because of work-related stuff or travel.
Yeah.
In 2 years. So I'm in every single soccer game with her, and then I'm helping her. I practice piano with her for hours every week. I teach her things. I find things to teach her. So we learn together. Like we just learn how to do the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Just something fun to learn, and then try to use the brain. Try to tell them, understand that the most difficult things give you the best rewards, kind of thing. So I'm trying to teach my kids.
That's crazy.
I
can see going back why it's return on energy versus return on investment, because you've been there, done it all. You made a ton of shitload of money. It's how you. It's so crazy how I've seen very extremely famous, successful, wealthy people regret how much they sacrificed to get there when they've missed every one of their kids' events.
I'm blessed. I learned it before that happened.
Right, exactly. So it's similar. We share that same, because when my son started getting into competitive sports, I promised him, I said, look, dude, if I cannot help it, I'll be at every game.
Yes.
You'll always be, you'll be on the field, or you'll be on he plays basketball now, you'll be on the court, and when you look up, you're going to see me at every game, unless I absolutely cannot help it. And I've probably missed, he's 15 now, he's been playing since the 3rd grade, so I probably missed maybe like 3 games.
Nice. Good.
Over that duration. But see, now at the same, I could have been somewhere else cutting deals, doing this, making money, but the value of that is priceless.
100%.
100%. So I know it's the return on energy. I get completely what you're saying, man. Any last advice for our audience, man? This has been absolute pure gold, this conversation we're having. Any last things you want to leave, man? Go for it. Just go for it, bro.
Life is not easy. Success is not easy. Anything that is worth it is not easy, but it's worth it. So you gotta realize what you want and go for it, no matter how difficult it is, whatever it takes. And then when you start with realistic expectations, when you start from small goals to bigger goals, you realize that nothing is impossible. Anything, if somebody else have done it, you could do it. Even if nobody have done it, you could be the first person doing it.
Yeah.
So go for it. Life is too short to be living an average life, a mediocre life. Go for it, no matter what it is.
That's amazing, dude. Gold, pure gold. Polo, how do people find you, bro? Social media, like this guy. Shout it out,
Polo
whatever
Garcia,
it is. One more time. I'm sorry.
Instagram,
One more time.
Polo Garcia, Polo Garcia. But you just Google Polo Garcia. I have done a very good work with my CEO, SEO, and then you can find Polo Garcia. You will find my insurance agency, but you will find my social media as well. And in Facebook and Instagram, that's when I spend most of my time. And then I try to share as much value to small business owners, especially people that want to get into the insurance or are in the insurance and are not happy with the results. Please reach out to me. I spend sometimes, I had a calendar invite on my social media where anybody can go and click and set up an appointment with me for 25 minutes, completely free. I will be happy to help anybody I can. So I got a couple spots every day for 25 minutes where anybody can sign up and talk to me. They just put their name, phone number, and whenever comes the time, I will call them. And I believe in karma, so I'm trying to help as many people as possible. So the more I help people, the more
benefit you get, man. So again, that's the Polo Garcia on Instagram and Facebook.
Correct.
The name of your agency in Sugarland, if they want to call Polo Garcia State Farm in Sugarland, Texas. Man, what an honor to have you here, bro. I admired you when you told your story at that brunch. But man, after hearing the depth of your story from $250 to owning the world, bro. Top 10.
And I'm just 40, so this is just the beginning. Most of the extremely successful people that I have known became multimillionaires after 40.
Yeah.
After 50.
Yeah.
And what I have learned with my short life, because my mom is 81-year-old, and my biggest bless is that she's extremely healthy and happy, and I can spend that time with her. If I can get to live to that age, 80,
you barely started.
You
just got started.
So the best half of my life is just
still coming, man. And I see great grand things coming from you, bro. Just remember, man, bring me along when you get there.
We'll be there together,
brother. And I have this for you, bro. All of our guests.
Awesome.
The End-to-End podcast cap, bro. Wear it if you do, man. I know your hairstyle is really cool. I appreciate you, brother. Pure gold, bro. You're welcome to come back anytime in the podcast. Please keep the audience. Please let me know how that. I'm gonna be there with you, bro. I'm gonna be there with you.
No,
but much success for the holiday season and the next year, bro. I know I'm gonna hear great things from you. Polo Garcia, Polo G, bro. If you see a blue McLaren flying down the roads in Houston, Texas, it's likely
going
Polo
the
G.
speed limit down the highway. He meant.
If you found value in this episode or anything Polo said, I guarantee you heard a lot of value coming out of Polo G. Please share this episode. Follow him on social media. Like him. I know he puts out his own content too. Follow his content. You will learn a lot about sales, about life, about business. I know he's always looking to help small businesses, individuals. So please reach out to him. He's got a heart of gold, as you can tell. A lot of value shared here. But if you found some value, just a little bit, please follow, share this episode to your friends, your family. You're going to find a lot of lessons about how to be successful in this one. And if you apply it to your life, I almost guarantee you that you will find some form of success just following Polo G's advice today. So happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you all. We're looking forward to exciting things coming around 2023. Can't wait to share it with y'all. But look forward to getting to another episode to you very, very soon. This is the End-to-End podcast on all platforms. Like, follow, share, comment. Polo. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Nothing but love for you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
What's up,